Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another broadcast of the Cranky Ducklings. Welcome back to the very first Anonymous Cup, day number 1. Your unique format here of King of the Hill and also anonymous gameplay. Let's go. I'm of course your host Live VIP. With you, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat and by the pledges as well. Welcome one and all to something a little bit different, something a little bit spicy. We did give an introduction to this previously during the RSL broadcast, but welcome one and all to the very first Anonymous Cup, day number 1. Now, the way this tournament works here, it is a King of the Hill format. King of the Hill, best of ones. Winner stays on, loser is eliminated, and we have 11 players here tonight. We have 10 best of ones lined up here for you. Not just that, it is anonymous in the sense that all the players that are going to be competing here today, they're going to be all on burner accounts. They're going to be all on alternate IDs to make it that much more difficult, or to actually, I should say, to not know who exactly is playing. And the chat is going to get involved. Exclamation mark yes in the chat, and you'll get a link to a Google form, a Google Doc, where you can actually place your prediction on who each player is. Now, obviously, I will say that you should ideally wait for a player to be eliminated to get the most information on them. If a player wins, they stay on, and you probably want to get as much information as you can before you lock in and before you determine who exactly that player is. Now, to make this, or to I guess in a way make this a little bit easier, or to narrow down the possibility of players, we do have a kind of like a listing of where our players are going to be from. We have 8 players. We have 8 players tonight that are from the CIS region, mainly going to be from Russia, from Kazakhstan, from Belarus. So we have 8 players from the CIS region, and we have 3 players from the rest of the European region. So with that, you can have a better idea of kind of like the player pool selection. We're not going to be featuring any Koreans or any Americans or Latin Americans, for example, purely players from Europe and from the CIS region instead. So that does narrow some things down here when it comes to who you're thinking. Again, think of, especially because this event is organized and hosted by MindelVK, think of players like Wayne, Young Yakov, GG Machine, Nicoract, Milky Cow, Strange, alongside, when it comes to the Europeans, Gerald, Skillis, Cristiano. Those are the kind of like players that you should be thinking along the lines of. Likewise, other players like, some of them trying to come to mind here. Death Mars Gref, Dr. Graf, true. They're also going to be potentially called upon Proto Xaver as well, Replicants, and many others. So basically, we're going to put your knowledge to the test. Here. I'll try to help as much as I can. I'm a little bit more familiar with some of these players, as we do cover them on a more regular basis here, and some of them are more stylistic. And the way the Google form works, again, we have the command in the chat, exclamation mark yes for that Google form. It is a form for each of your predictions per player. Now, if you do predict once for a player, if you predict this person's Wayne and then you predict someone else's Wayne, only your first one gets locked in. You can only have one prediction per player. If you try to put in multiple predictions, then it will only count the first one. So there's some limitations there. Likewise, on top of that, there are also limitations if you try to make multiple like email accounts and try to submit multiple times, and if you get found out, then your, of course, submissions are going to be removed. They're not going to be counted. Likewise, you also have to make sure that you spell the name correctly. For example, if you predict MindelVK is casting, but this is just an example. If you type in Mindel, that doesn't count. You have to type in the full ID, and it might be case sensitive as well. So just bear that in mind as we are stepping into the ring. We're stepping into our first best of 1. Oh boy. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right corner here of Persephone, we have our first of many anonymous players. We have the red Protoss. It is Solana. Or is it? It's spawning in the top left corner. We have the red Terran player himself. It is FataMorgana. Who? That's a good question. Heading through the chat, at least initially. Oh, actually, I should probably set that up. So I set this up. My apologies. Solana. Do we even predict? I mean, it's so difficult to actually make an Morgana. There we go. Solana, FataMorgana, there we go. If you're in the chat, you know what? Gamma time. Gamma time predictions are open. Place your bet. Something you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. If we know nothing about our players coming into this and stepping into this, but you know what? Just get your gamma going. It's the best of one, Pappy. Have some fun. Have some fun. Best of one. Best of luck in the chat. Let's go, Pappy. Let's go. As we have our initial probe scout here coming out from Solana, does move out with the probe scout. Behind this, economic opener out of FataMorgana as well. So we do have our initial economic start. There are a couple of other things that I can also reveal here. First thing, of course, MindelVK is casting. So MindelVK is not going to be playing, just so you can already cross out that Protoss player from your list of potential picks when it comes to who you think some of these players are. Likewise, Indy is casting today. Indy, he's a Polish caster, and usually Indy doesn't cast unless there's some Polish players involved. Like he's there for his boys, So I mean, I already assumed that there would be some Polish representation, so at some point in this broadcast expect there to be some Polish players, like a Gerald, a Cristiano, a Spirit, a Mana. I wouldn't be surprised if those are some of the European players that are going to be invited. For now, again, economic opener out of FataMorgana. Does open Reaper, sent across the map. From here, going to a delayed factory. Economic start already interesting. Ooh, do we have some latency? Personally, I do have some on my end, but hopefully everything's okay. Oh, this person's very kind. Who is it? Who's it gonna be? Oh no. Setting up. Anybody remember the anonymous tournament back in the day? True. Oh no. Also, another thing that I should mention as well, of course, is shout out to Hatsu for, of course, adminning, for helping to run the event. And I should also mention as well, what was I going to mention? Oh, right. When it comes to predictions, when it comes to the Google form, you can earn some prize money. The person with the most correct predictions at the end of the day, and the end of the broadcast, will be earning some prize money. So that is going to be kept track of. Oh, I should have started with that, saying that that's one of the reasons why to incentivize predictions, to incentivize stepping into the ring here, is the people. I think the top two with the most amount of correct predictions will be able to earn some money. Yeah, there you go. Way to get the chat involved. For now, that we have returned, we have come back. Reaper poking in, Adept will zone away. Behind this again, that factory follow-up. So far, everything's looking quite normal and quite standard. Yo, I mean, it can't be Milky Cow, right? Ah, no. Behind the solid counter opener out of Solana, going for something standard. So far, I mean, everything has been very stock standard. No, nothing cheesy, nothing crazy, nothing wild. That's all these Spirit. I was thinking Spirit, but Spirit isn't very talkative. That's the thing, right? Like Spirit, he doesn't speak too much. It was an economic. If this was CC first, I would scream Spirit 100%. I'd be like, "Mate, that is Spirit 100%." But I don't know. He's not too social. But maybe. It's definitely something that I can lean towards. Behind this, we do have our initial 2-gate follow-up, so 3 gates in total, 3-gate blink. Looks like we're going for a robot before expansion as well, so very safe play here from our red Protoss player. Very safe. This is not strange. 100, that's, I can say that right now. That's not strange. No. No shot. But you see someone do something crazy out of this world, okay, then strange becomes an option. Standard safe play. Gerald? Is this a Polish versus Polish matchup? Gerald and Spirit? Maybe. Reaper Hellion poking forward. Right, Shameless, he's also going to be an option. True. Shameless does play standard as well. There's a lot of Polish Protoss players to also bear in mind. Hellion poking in. At the same time, we do have initial drop play. Again, just wouldn't mind drop. Again, this is like looking very normal. Followed up with the 3-1-1 setup. Tank production back at home. Going for a Raven follow-up here to harass. Wouldn't mind boosting back into the main. And Solana does notice in time, does pull away most of his workers. Oh! It does pull away. Nice on borrow there from our Terran. FataMorgana. Mindshot going off, getting one. Ooh, but the medevac does fall. Yeah, a bit of an overstep there. Wasn't able to react in time. That's a big loss here for the Terran. And Mind Drop is cleaned up. A solid defense here by Solana. Raven coming in for a follow-up. Hellion on the right-hand side. Behind this, going into a bay, going into Colossus production. This is a very standard follow-up. Now, do I want to help you guys out a little bit here? You know what? Yeah, you know what? Because there's so many possibilities as the players, as the Reaper does, sorry, the Raven does come in, does get a couple of probe kills. Now, if you know anything about Gerald, you would know, especially because, oh, as we are committing here, as we are pushing out behind this third CC on the way, not a 2-base all in. But Solana does poke in, does prod, does force an early siege. Now, what I was going to say, if you know anything about Gerald, you would know that Gerald, we've casted him a lot against Beyond and Cure as of late. You will know that Gerald is very fond of Storm follow-ups, not Colossus. So the fact that we see a Colossus here as a follow-up, I mean, it in my mind, it almost removes Gerald from the possibility, just because he's so fond of playing with Storm. Like, specifically 3-gate into Storm. Raven Harass coming in, getting 3 workers. Behind this going into Charge and Colossus. And again, Morgana does pull away. Does back off. So if this isn't Gerald's, standard opener, Stalker into Colossus. Like, in my mind, this does feel a little bit more Shameless. Oh, he's so shameless. In my mind. But I also have, I'm gonna bring up a list of potential players after this, actually. I'm gonna look at Fire Growth Cup because there's a lot of Protosses in the CIS region that I'm not like considering. Like Proto Zaver. Obviously, this isn't Gref. Obviously, if we see a Cannon Rush, then Gref, right, rises to the top. Gateway Explosion behind this. Spirit is trying to throw you off. He's watching. True. Solana's obviously hero. Kappa. Here we go. Morgana does expand, does take the third. I mean, the macro from Morgana has been solid. I will say that. Has been very solid macro. As Morgana does break out, does push across the map. Colossus have arrived. They do engage before the siege. Yeah, tanks are getting caught unsieged. Siege in time. Solana does pull away. Does pull back, does pull away. Rotating over. And Morgana, not liking what he sees, backs off, respects the Colossus. Does pull away the tanks, but does commit to a drop. Yeah, going for a Dream Drop towards the main. Does step by, does bust in, going for the production, and it looks like will not deny the upgrades, just barely not. Range is down, but Solana out of position, forced to recall. Plus one is denied. Nice pickoff, denies +1, denies the Twilight Council as well. Massive pickoffs here. Cybercore Forge, Twilight Council, and the Bay. Yeah, so many pickoffs. Solana out of position. As Spirit does pull away. Solana does rotate. Does respond. Collapsing in the army. Up! Prism overextends. Prism does overextend. The tanks are in the back line. Nice position here for the Terran. Solana respects it. Pulls away. Does pull away, getting a 4th expansion. So Solana is building up towards a longer game state, getting a 4th base, building up, getting more bases. In my mind, so I ruled out Geralt earlier, and 100%, like, as I mentioned before, Geralt's very fond of storm-based gameplay, very fond of getting into faster expansions. In my mind, I'm leaning towards Shameless, leaning towards Skilless as well. Skilless also another option. But I'll bring up a list later, after this game. As we're calming things down, getting into Ghost production. Auto chart in the main, not bad. Getting a couple of workers. And again, the tech is still being rebuilt, by the way. The cyber core, the bay, the forge, it's all being rebuilt. Now, the other problem with the 3 Europeans is that Europe is such a wide selection. Like, I don't know, outside of the Polish Protosses, like, is MindelVK reaching out to, like, Sebestes? Is he reaching out to some of the other, like, European Protosses as well, like Arrowfire, right? Like, that's, like, the fact that there are 3 players from quote-unquote Europe, like, that opens things up so much for, specifically for Protoss, because there are so many European Protoss players. And all of them do play Standard. Like, bringing up Sebestes, Arrowfire, players of that nature. Morgana does break out, pushing him between the bases. Sharpshooters are getting ready. First Nova going to be going up. Vikings will zone. Nova likewise forces back the army for a moment, but now on cooldown. Morgana pushing in, going for the Colossus. No shield battery. Yeah, no shield battery. One Colossus goes down. Gets 1, gets 2. Gonna get all 3, and this is just far too much. Morgana has broken through here. Again, robot production has been delayed because of the Bay earlier, and the Terran will overwhelm. Lands the Vikings, takes down the expansion. Waddling in. Oh, and we'll get the mineral line. Yeah, there's just not much here to defend. The mineral line's going to go down. GG gets called, and FataMorgana will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Morgana does take the game and is initially our first King of the Hill. GG. GG will play it against solid gameplay there from our Terran player. Now, what I will say, stepping into this, and I will pull up the FIGRO Cup, the most recent FIGRO Cup. I think the most recent FIGRO Cup is a good kind of listing of possible players. Now, what I will say is that I spoke earlier about how it's hard to predict a Protoss player, and for those in the chats, get your predictions going. Exclamation mark guess. Who do you think this Protoss was? Again, that was Solana as our first Protoss player. But one of the reasons why I think it's really difficult to pick a Protoss is because there are so many. In Europe, there are so many Protoss players, so there are so many possibilities. So it's going to be harder. For Terran, though, there are limited possibilities, right? Like, who could a Terran be? I'm thinking Spirit, Milky Cow, Replicant, Nicoract. Battle B's inactive, maybe a Battle B. I don't see Gabe coming into this. I don't see Clem coming into this. So, like, again, like, Terrans are more limited. Same with Zerg players. Like, there's like 3 or 4 times as many Protosses out there, so it's going to be a lot harder to pinpoint a Protoss, especially a standard Protoss player. But for Terran, I think you can, again, there are more limited options, so you can narrow it down a little bit more. I would suggest to those in the chat to reserve judgment on who FataMorgana is until they get knocked out. I mentioned this before. FataMorgana, it's a King of the Hill format, best of 1. FataMorgana is going to be playing another game here, so I would suggest get the most amount of information possible on this player before committing to a prediction. But we have our next opponent here. We have our next challenger. Here we go. Here we go. As we're getting into a TBT. Okay. Oh my god. As we're getting into a TBT up next. I don't even know how to say this name. I'm gonna call him Choco. Coco? I can't read Cyrillic. Oh, actually, that might not be a Terran. My apologies. It might not be a Terran. I think it might be another Protoss. So we're remaking, but we're getting ready for another matchup. I thought it was a TVT, but maybe it's a Protoss player. So we'll need a moment to set that up. There are millions of possible Protosses in Europe, you're not wrong. What about Solana being mana? It could be. It could be. That's the thing. Like if you're gonna say Solana could be a Protoss, I'm gonna agree to like any possibility. I say almost any because there are certain Protoss players that are obviously more cheesy, like your Boanans, your Grefs, your Strangers. So they're a lot more stylistic and easier to point out. Meanwhile, Coco is a Zerg player, not a Terran. Okay. Let's go. As we are loading into Last Fantasy. Likewise, for Zerg players, we also have a limited pool as well, because there aren't that many Zerg players in Europe or in the CIS region as well. But here we go, spawning in the top side of Last Fantasy, we have the red Terran player, the current King of the Hill, leading, and with 1 win under his belt. It is FataMorgana. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player. Again, he is Zerg. His name is in Cyrillic. It is Coco. And if you're in the chat, best of luck. Best of luck. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Claim this best of 1. But again, so if you wish, you can already place your bets, or you can already try to guess who Solana was. Solana played pretty standard, was eventually overwhelmed. Honestly, pretty solid play against the Terran opponent, but it's gonna be a big gamble on that one, I feel. Aye. Here we go. Here we go. As overlords are being sent out, a hatch gas pool, standard opener here out of our Zerg player. Meanwhile, standard opener out of our Terran player as well. No cheese, no proxy. I'll be honest, I have a suspicion that, I mean, the first prediction in the chat, I think there is a high chance that this is Spirit. I think that's relatively high so far, but at the same time, it's only been 1 game. That's why I say reserve judgment. I have seen Milky Cow playing more standard recently, so I'm not ruling out Milky Cow, to be honest. I am ruling out Nicoract. Nicoract is very aggressive in TVP, often 2-base all-ins, and also aggressive in TVZ. If we see like a cheeky 2-base all-in here from the Terran player, I'm gonna lean towards Nicoract. But even then, like, game 1 leads me away from Nicoract. But like that's we'll see how they do open up. Let's go. So far standard. But like I'm ruling out Replicant. Replicant I think is another possibility for a Terran player that's gonna be playing tonight. I should emphasize that. But Replicant, he likes mech, even against Protoss. He's very fond of mech. If we see mech here, then you know Replicant is a viable option. At least in my mind, Replicant he's a mech boy. If we see like a 2-base all-in, BC opener, if we see like a Hellbat push on 2 bases, if we see like a 2-on-1 into 5-rack setup on 2 bases without a 3rd CC, like that's more like a Nicoract play style. If we see something more standard, then yeah, I'm leaning towards Spirit on that one. For now though, we're calming down. All right, when it comes to our Zerg players, so far everything is looking normal. I mean, the problem with the CIS Zerg players is that they are a lot more aggressive against Protoss and Zerg. Against Terran, I feel like Wayne, Young Yakov, and GG Machine, those are the 3 main Zergs that I'm thinking of. They all play pretty standard, to be honest. Wayne is more willing to open up Roach. True. I think Wayne, he is more willing. But like a lot of them, they just play Ling Bane. Oh. Nice control so far. Reaper goes down. But especially obviously because of the Cyrillic, I do think there's a high chance that this is either Young Yakov, Wayne, or GG Machine. Like those are the 3 that come to mind. I know that Mini Zerg has been very active. Mini Zerg is another option, but personally I don't think I've casted Mini Zerg before, so that's a hard one to land on. Behind this, ooh, 1-1, no 3rd CC. No 3rd CC, 1-1-1, hyper aggression out of our Terran. Okay. This is not Spirit. Hold on. Yo, he's not playing standard and being greedy? Oh, maybe it's not Spirit. It's okay, so I'm bringing it back to if you've been watching the House Galactic battle, like the offline events, and the ZVT between Spirit and a laser. Spirit, he has cheesed a laser before, 100%. We've seen Spirit play mech, we've seen Spirit open BC, we've seen Spirit go for these weird all-ins against a laser for sure. So Spirit, he has it in him, but I feel like that's specifically against a laser because they mind game each other, and there's so much like history between them. So 1-1-1 fast stim into Cloak Banshee. No third CC. Milky Cow, is that you? That's because if you remember last game I wasn't ruling out Milky Cow, like because I have seen Milky Cow play a little more standard against Protoss. I wasn't ruling him out, mate. I mean, it's not no lane, third CC's on the way, but this is a late third CC. Unless maybe Spirit's just playing really safe. You could argue, but this is more aggressive than anything. As Banshee does move out. Hellions pushing on the left-hand side. So far, I mean, it's just like, welcome to Lost Fantasy, right? It's a three. Oh Jesus! It is a three-player sport map, so maybe Spirit he feels he needs to play safe and delay a third CC on this map in case there's an all-in. Meanwhile, double Eva Chamber, I've been focusing a lot on guessing on the Terran player. Standard opener, hatch gas pool, third base, droning, double Eva Chamber, double upgrades, Lane Bane. Like, this is as standard as you can get. It was even a layer first Baneliness before 1-1 upgrades. So this is just very safe play from the Zerg. Very safe, like, standard play. The Lings, they do catch up, they do shut down the Hellions, not bad. Yeah, not a bad catch. Ooh, the Hellions do overextend. And a nice movement here with the Lings, impressive. At the same time, Banshees, they do hit the right-hand side. There's a Spore. They get 2 drones. Hellions are cleaned up. Our Zerg player defends. Yo, Coco popping up. Behind this, getting into a 5-rack setup. Third TC on location. Like, you could make an argument that the late third TC is just really safe play from the Terran, which would still be in line with Spirit. Like, you can make that argument. But just because I haven't seen Spirit play TVZ on Lost Fantasy. So I don't know how he plays on this map. The Zerg player could be Wayne, Radata, or Vanya. True. Cap. As the drop is going to be forced away. Behind this, you have Ling Bane into Hydra Tech. Again, just very standard. Lings are being shaved off. Lings are race back as well. They're deny mining here at the third. Coco is keeping up. As we're already building up into a second factory before the gases are being taken. Behind this on 5 Raxes, no additional Raxes yet. Terran player securing his third first. Just stuck at home, securing his third base. Getting into Widowmine production, not further tanks. Waiting one by going to be slipping by. No reaction, late reaction. Oh, ooh, getting 5 SCV kills. Nice damage here from our Zerg. Our Zerg player is playing quite well. For those who are unaware, Wayne was the best Zerg player in the CIS region. Right now, it's between Wayne and Young Yakov. Young Yakov has been improving a lot. Quite a lot, actually. Oh. That's a third base. That's a fourth base, sorry, is going to be going down. Snipes the hatchery, nice pickoff. Zerg player out of position. Limited creep and vision here on the right-hand side. So down goes the fourth. Terran player pushing towards the left-hand side as well. Yo, Zerg Coco is having a hard time keeping up. Armies are moving in. KairoS out of position. Oh. That's means they stim on 4. They take down the queen. Bailey's rolling in. Oh my god. I'll pick up. Does pick up, does evacuate. As it looks like for the most part the drops are being denied. Big connections. Yeah, late responses here from the Terran. Bleeds out some Marines. Bleeds out a Banshee as well. On the right hand side, it does defend. For into KairoS. Does defend, does keep up, can finally expand. But this is a late 4th. Late 4th pace from the Zerg. Meanwhile, the Terran getting up to full 3-way saturation. 4th CC on the way. Zerg player having a hard time here. Needs time to recover at this point. Maybe worth double expanding. Getting a 4th. Yep, there we go. Double expands to try to catch up. And we're settling it. Settling in, we're calming down. Oh, yo, the fighting intentional. These are some nice little micro moves for our Zerg player, not gonna lie. I guess I was gonna say that like maybe I should like consider no. I was gonna say a laser would drone up far more than this. Like a laser, he would already be at 80 workers, 100%. Like our Zerg player here is staying on a very low drone count, 65, but that's also because the 4th base is quite late. Late 4th, mine shot's going off, but this will be a cleanup here in favor of the Zerg. At the same time, oh, a bit of an F2 here. The Zerg player does move completely out of position. The 4th base is going to go down once again. You can see a big reaction here. KairoS racing back home. Another base goes down. Oof. The 4th base for a second time. Like, this is where you get the big brain plays, and like the Cyrillic is to throw you off, and it's really like Lambo. Nah. I don't think they're that big brain. But maybe. That's how you get him. Oof. As, oh no! Oh, brutal mind connections. Cleaning up a lot of lings. Likewise, you got to see your mines behind this as well. Bailings, they do crash forward, they take down most of the mines, every single mine actually. Not a bad fight here out of our Zerg player, but once again, the drop is coming back in. But this time they're ready. This time KairoS in position, let's go. Ooh, gets a medevac, gets one, there's one left. Army races back. Our Zerg player here is able to keep up with the tempo of the Terran. Is now adapting. Oof, oh god, the mine shots though. Not again. We're getting messy, Pat. We're getting messy. 4th base getting fully operational. I would say the Terran is ahead economically. Suicide drop didn't feel like something that Spirit would do. I rate Spirit very highly as a player. Mistakes do happen though. Like definitely be careful with that. Be careful with that. But sure, right? Like so as the drop does come back in, gets a full mineral line, 12 drones gonna be going down. Well, that's also why I feel like it's important to try to wait to get as much information as you can right before committing to a prediction. Depending on if we get another game. So Terran player setting up at the center. For me, I'm still not ruling out Milky Cow, to be honest. Like I know I haven't made like a strong argument for it yet. But like in my mind, I'm still like battling between those two options. It's Milky Cow and Spirit. Like maybe Replicant, maybe like nah. I know that Replicant has also been looking very impressive as of late, but Oh, oh no, the air blockers, no! Liberators, they get caught out. For those that are curious, here on the Last Fantasy, we do have these air blockers. I mean, that's another thing to bear in mind, is that potentially whoever's playing here doesn't have a lot of experience on Last Fantasy, because this is the most vetoed map of the map, but we rarely get to cast on this. Oof. So far, the Bio Army does move in. Mitra going off, 13 drone kills. A nice catch here from our Zerg. Oh, well, can barely knock it on top of the tanks. There are just so many Marauders. They're so tanky. And FataMorgana, I think, has done it. Takes down an entire mineral line. The base is going to fall as well. Yeah, the base does crumble. We have a couple of lurkers coming in. The lunkers. They're waddling in. Do waddle in. Likewise, our Terran's still dropping in, going for the split push, bottom right and top left. As Mortar goes down, we do see him in once again, just pulling apart the Zerg player. And this is getting out of hand. This is becoming just far too much damage at this point. The base goes down. The drop play continues. Five bunkers on the way. Okay, it's going to be on Kroger to try to stabilize, double expanding, down in workers, down in bases, down in economy, down in everything. And back at home, we just see FataMorgana just getting into ghost production. Ghosts are on the way. More starports. Looking to max out. Catching out the lurkers. Simming on in. Catching out even more. It's barely any banelings here. Lurkers do borrow. Terran does pull away in time, but will bleed out the tanks though. Tanks are going down. Kirker holding on. Does take a decent fight, but what's scary here is that our Zerg player has no economy to sustain these losses. Like, there's no economy here, so even though this was a pretty good fight, they're running out of steam, they're running out of resources. The Terran can just keep this up and keep on going. Simming towards the right-hand side. Sonkers, they move in. Do move in towards the left. Ghost is trying to respond. Likewise, drop gets deflected. We're getting some damage here. Oh, the Ghost! Get some snipes off. Nice snipes. Snipes are connecting. We have Liberators on the way, going for the Fusion Core, embracing the late game. Snipes once again, getting 1, 2. We had the third lurker kill earlier. Brutal losses. Oh my god. Likewise, that's Zerg player moving out. I think I was gonna say this a little bit later, but I do think another reason why it might be worth holding off on certain predictions, because you can still, for example, we have Solana from earlier that you can still predict on, like, throughout the broadcast. They're not going to be returning, but you can also, like, you know, get your prediction in a little bit later. I say that you can also try to wait for another Terran, another Zerg, and compare. Like, compare their performances, compare how well they did, to get a better gauge on who you think is who. So, like, in general, it's probably wise to hold off on your predictions till the very end. But you just got to remember to predict, right? What I'm saying is that after this, we might see another Zerg player that plays very similarly. Maybe beats FataMorgana, maybe not. But, like, you can like try to, in your mind, like, compare the two and rate them and judge them for who you think they are. Just add a heads up, or you can just predict straight away. I mean, it's up to you. I just tried to help out a little bit. Meanwhile, the base does go down. Terran player caught out of position. Caught on the low ground. Okay, not bad. Yo, Coco takes out the base, takes out the mineral line, does outposition the Terran. Okay, we're making some moves. Suddenly, our Zerg player coming back, re-droning, re-expanding. I spoke too soon. No, I spoke too soon. As we do have a counter-attack here. Gets into the mineral line. That's going to be how many? Over 10 drone kills, 17. The mineral line goes down. Massive pickup. Okay, we are getting scrappy here. Again, this map is just so open in the center. So open. Because of the speed zones, it's so easy to just go for the counterattacks and just run by like this. Speaking of, push towards the left-hand side as well. Jeez, how many ghosts are there? Okay, 10 ghosts. Most of them with this army. Ghost army breaking out. Push in towards the left-hand side. Sims on in. Takes out another mineral line. And Coco had almost recovered, but the drop plays too much. We have a drop on the right. Push towards the left. Another base falls. Another mineral line falls. More Hydras going to be going down. The Lurkers burrowing in. The snipes are brutal. Snipes almost all the Hydras and the Lurkers. And FataMorgana has done it. Again, we had a nice fight earlier. A nice move out of Coco, but very quickly we saw the Terran player just counterattack, take down 2 bases, 2 mineral lines. Zerg player has been pulled apart, has been having a hard time keeping up here with that multiple aggression throughout the entire game, to be honest. Snipes are popping up. And there it is. GG gets called. The Terran player takes a second win, gets another point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations here. Congratulations as FataMorgana does claim the second win. Also, thank you so much for the translations. Apparently, because I don't know any Cyrillic, apparently it translates to the dog's dream. Is that a clue? Is that a clue? Potentially, but regardless, GG well played. With that, FataMorgana will claim the win here and will remain the king of the hill. 2 wins so far. Oh boy. And again, exclamation mark yes in the chat if you guys want to predict already. If you guys want to place your predictions, you can go for it. As I said, I do suggest refraining from that, getting some more information and being able to compare and judge yourself. As we mentioned before, you can only predict once for a player. If you try to predict multiple, if you like say this player is Wayne, and then you say, oh, actually this player, never mind, you submit that they're young Yakov, well then it won't be calculated. It won't be brought into consideration. Only your first prediction, it's locked in. It's locked in stone. So you got to be certain with that prediction. And no second guessing. Got to go all in, papi, all in. But with that, GG well played. FataMorgana claims another victory here. And we're getting ready for the next opponent. Oh boy. We're getting ready for the next opponent. Here we go. This match is intense. It was very intense. It was very back and forth in their own way. I would say in general, the Terran player had control of the game, but there were definitely some good moments for the Zerg. Definitely. Laser will not have any upgrades either. True. Oh no. With that, that's our first 2 games locked in. Also, when it comes to spelling, when it comes to player names and things of that nature, I believe the Wikipedia page should be being updated eventually. I would hope. Here we go. One moment. Okay, beautiful. For now, though, I think we're going to be going on a short break. I think we need some time to gather our next opponents and gather our challengers. So we're going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, we'll have our next best of one. Now, as a reminder, we have 10 best of ones tonight. We have 10 best of ones. We're 2 games in, 2 series in so far. But we do have 8 more ahead of us. Oh boy. I guess it's a lot of players to predict. A lot of players. A lot of players. But yes, we're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll have our next matchup. See you soon. See you soon. Oh, actually, never mind. We have our next opponent. Language of the name might be who the name is of. Yeah, for sure, obviously. Unless it's a fake out. Unless it is a fake out. Do you need a moment? Yeah, so our players, they need some time. So we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have our next series. We'll have our next best of one. See you soon. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our third best of one of the broadcast of the Anonymous Cup, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Leylands, we have our current King of the Hill with 2 wins under his belt, looking very strong, very powerful. It is the Red Terran player. It is FataMorgana. Or is it? And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss player himself. It is Tempest, our new challenger. Let's go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series, as we are setting out a very early SCV. I would imagine that we're setting up a proxy or an eBay block. It looks like we're going for the block at the natural. Let's go, as we have another TVP. Now, as a reminder, last time we saw FataMorgana in a Terra vs Protoss went for an economic opener, went for a single gas Rax expand into a standard follow-up, into a mine drop, into bio tank, into a third base. It was all pretty stock standard, to be honest. Like, there was nothing too crazy about it. It was very solid, very solid, very impressive play out of our Terran player. And his Protoss opponent likewise also played standard, going 3-gate blink into a third base with a robo, I believe, before the third, if I remember correctly. Meanwhile, here opening up with a bit of a cheeky start, forcing some inefficiencies out of Tempest. Tempest opening up with the unnatural natural. The spray. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. That's a tell. You know who I'm thinking right now? Now, a lot of those Zoomers are very fond of spraying. They're very fond of it. If you remember Shameless, he specifically has he does a juice box spray every time he throws down like a pylon. I think he has another spray when he throws down like a base as well. Like Shameless, he does that. Because these are fresh accounts, you don't have all of your sprays available, so that's something unique that not everyone does, is what I'm getting at. Not everyone sprays like this. Just saying. Shameless? I don't know if it's him, but maybe. I just know that Shameless is very much known for spraying, very much so, whenever he throws down like certain buildings. But to be fair, typically Shameless, he sprays when he throws down his first pylon. Like this pylon here would have like a juice box under it, for example, right? Just little things like that, like or maybe a bit of an easier way. Who doesn't throw down sprays like that, right? You can also, like, if you're really familiar with certain players, then you would know like who doesn't really spray at all, right? Meanwhile, the Reaper does poke in. Again, did force the unnatural. 1 probe goes down already. Gets 1. Behind this, to have a 1-1-1 follow-up. CC in low ground. 2nd probe goes down. Nice pick off. Let's go second worker. Likewise, Stargate opener out of our Protoss player. Hello. That's different. Does open Stargate. Opening up Phoenix first. Checking the vision here of our Terran player. Has yet to scout, has yet to confirm. This is a bit of a rarer sight, especially on a map like this. On larger maps, maybe Stargate opener is a little bit more commonplace. Interesting. Right, I was meant to look at the 5 Cup earlier. True. When it comes to potential CIS players, Protoss players, we have Art. Yeah, Art, he's another Zoomer. Russian Art, not Polish Art. But Art, Sickness, Strange, UD Soldier, Death Mars. Aliens, they bust in. They bust into the bases. The Phoenixes will shut this down. Getting 1, getting 2. So far, catching a couple of Hellions. But yeah. When I think of some of the younger players that also spray, I want to say Art might be one of them as well. Something Shameless, something Art. I rarely cast Sickness. I rarely cast. Nowadays, it's been a while since I've casted UD Soldier. UD Soldier is also typically standard. I don't think UD Soldier does Stargate openers. This Tempest does rotate. True. Remember, European Protoss players as well. Sebestis? Maybe. Meanwhile, Stalker's gonna be forced back. I mean, Sebestis is known for his Phoenix play. True. Sebestis could be a solid pick. Like, a spray and Phoenixes. That could be Sebestis. Anyway. We have our initial move out here. It is going to be Phoenix Colossus. A very old school build, by the way, going Phoenix Colossus. This is very out of meta. Very out of meta. A very rare sight nowadays. This was all the craze back in 2020, 2021, 2022. Phoenix is catching a Viking. Let's catch a Viking. Bio army building up. Working into his own Vikings. Just a 3-1-1. Standard setup here from our Terran. Cyclone's almost getting caught out. Locker's not broken. Ooh, punching one of the Phoenixes. This Tempest is forced back. True, like, mate, the thing with Sebestis, now that I'm thinking more about it, he is one of Roddy's boys. Naming himself Tempest, he's on Team Roddy, right? It's like it all. Playing Phoenix, spraying, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe. FataMorgana does move out, expanding behind this. Does take a third base. Vikings reward, catching out the Colossus. Does catch him out. Ooh. Meanwhile, just have a bit of friendly fire with the Gerald missile. But the Colossus does go down. He sims on in. Second Colossus has arrived. Viking out, running out. And Tempest holds. Tempest shuts down the Vikings. Catching out the Cyclone as well. Ooh, maybe a bit of an overextension, but barely any anti-air. Takes out all the Marines. Our Protoss player is holding. Does get away with this just barely. With that final Colossus. Does punish the reinforcements. Catching out more Marauders. Nice pickups. Having both arts in the terminal could be why the rules say you gotta be. Yeah, true. Mate. No shot they bring both arts into the tournament. That would be crazy. Aye. But you're not wrong. If I was MindelVK running this tournament, 100% I would invite both arts. 100%. I'd bring them both in. Just to mess with people. As Tempest getting his own fourth base. Behind this, we see FataMorgana going for a second starport against Phoenix Colossus. Makes plenty of sense. Getting second starport into Mass Viking. Likewise, goes to production on the horizon. Meanwhile, Tempest still has to rebuild his Colossus. The ground army here is very much so lacking for Tempest. This is why, like, this style is so risky and has fallen out of favor, is because aggression can shut this down. You can see just how vulnerable the Colossus are, how vulnerable the Phoenixes are. Like, this is a very fragile kind of army, at least initially. As the game progresses, as you get a fourth base up and running, then you can bolster this army with a greater gateway composition. But early on, again, you are vulnerable. It's difficult to get away with, but so far, Tempest is. I also don't want to swing the opinion of like too many people in the chat as well, because obviously, like, it's, you know, you can all come to your own conclusions as well as to who you think these people are or these players are. For sure. And likewise, we're quite limited when it comes to how many European protosses we cover here on the channel. We don't cover like Monday Night Weeklies on a regular basis, for example, so I'm not entirely certain how like Arcfire plays out this matchup 100%. We've been, oh, actually, nah, that's not true. We did cast Arcfire recently against Beyond, and Arcfire did not play like this, not at all. So I can with confidence say it's probably not Arcfire. He's getting into fourth Colossus. Jesus, fourth Colossus on the way. Getting into Blink, very Colossus. I'm not too fond of this. I'm not too fond of going into 4 Colossus plus Phoenixes. Like, your opponent is already going Mass Viking, right? Like, you're already forcing out Mass Viking out of your opponent. So this is very risky here. We are, of course, going to be supporting this army with Temple Archives, Archons, and soon to be Storm, and soon to be Disruptor production, I would assume. But we are sticking with, again, a very heavy Colossus count. Immortal production has begun. That will help support this. But yeah, I think for this tournament, I don't envy like the Protoss predictions. Like, as I mentioned, I think because the Zerg and Terran pool are so much more limited, it is easier to kind of like guess who it is. Like I've got my own thoughts on Fates, Morgana, and on Coco for sure. Like some stronger thoughts on that. For the two Protoss players, a little bit less so. I mean, this is more stylistic. But here we go. Tempest moving in. Zealot on the right hand side. So far, picks up a couple of SCVs. Zealots, they do peel off into the mineral line. Not bad. First Colossus goes down. Gets one. Gets one. Gets two. Gonna get all three. We spoke about this. The Vikings, they just go ham and they take down everything in the sky. Yeah, big overextension here. Tempest will bleed out the entire army, but at the same time, the Zealots are popping off. Yo, it's not about the Colossus, not about the Vikings. It's about the charge losses. They get 30 SCV kills. 30 SCVs. The charge lots, they're insane. FataMorgana having a hard time defending here. Or I should say, did fixate on the main fight and did win the main fight, but it wasn't about the main fight. It was about the run-by. It's about the Zealots instead. So 33 SCV kills. Brutal damage. Behind this, second Robo. Disruptors are on the way. I believe there's still a Viking count left over. Yeah, that's a lot of Vikings. That's why I did emphasize that I think it was a little bit important to go into Disruptors sooner. Regardless, Tempest takes a lead. And FataMorgana has been having a solid performance so far, but is this where it ends? As Tempest is about to max out. He's about to max out. Tempest pushing on both ends. Does hit the right hand side, going for the planetary. It's gonna go down, no lifts. I mean, it can't. And for the first time this broadcast, our Terran player here is struggling. Is having a hard time keeping up. Where are the Tempests? What do you mean? He's right there. You got it. You got one big Tempest, baby. One. Tempest once again setting up here. Is maxed. Is containing the Terran player on 3 bases, but is also allowing the Terran to slowly max out themselves. 3-3 is almost done. Blackbear's Nova going off. Ooh, does graze the army. Blackbear's Nova likewise picking up some more Marauders. Does move in. Where's Elsewhere another Nova? FataMorgana coming in from the right hand side. Coming in for a flank. Up. Oh no! Ooh, brutal connection. Your Novas do connect. Late reactions there from the Terran. Distracted by the Stellar run by. And the Novas they are popping off. Massive catch here from Tempest. GG gets called, and Tempest will end the reign of terror of Terran. And Tempest is the new king of the hill. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Big win here for Tempest. We have our new king of the hill. And are there any strong feelings in the chat for our players here? Again, going for an older school style of Phoenix Colossus, being able to outperform, being able to pull apart their Terran opponents with the multiplayer aggression, with the Zealot run-bys, with the Zealot counterattacks. Very impressive play. When it came to the Terran play, a very standard play. Remember, it was initially an eBay block into his own bio setup. And again, he did win the main fight, but he was otherwise distracted, was otherwise inattentive when it came to his own natural base, his own fourth base as well. Had a hard time reacting, pull away in time. Had a hard time preserving his SCVs. GG. GG, well played. With that, Tempest is our new king of the hill, and we'll see who our new challenger is going to be. Oh boy. GG, well played. And we are here to find out who is our next challenger. If you're curious as to my thoughts, I'll be honest, I'm almost 100% certain that Terran was Spirit, by the way. Almost 100%, almost. But GG, well played. Did perform quite well. Like, part of me, like, especially because, I think one of the reasons for this, if you remember earlier for the ZVT, I was thinking it might be like Milky Cow. But based on how standard their TVP was, and Milky Cow is usually more aggressive in TVP, he can play standard, but he usually does mix in more aggression. Like, I'm leaning more towards, like, Spirit. Like, when you think about the Terran players in the region, Nicoract and Milky Cow are much more aggressive in TVP. They're much more willing to go for 2 base all-ins and double gas openers. Double gas openers and 2 base all-ins. That's I see that. I feel like, you know, CIS Terran, right? I know that Replicant has been performing quite well recently, but I do have some strong feelings that was Spirit. Regardless, though, again, I can see an argument made for maybe Replicant as well. From the side of the Protoss player, it's hard to say. I'll be honest, I'm thinking Arts. Like, Arts, I think I have seen him play Phoenix Colossus before. Sebestus, known for Phoenix play as well. True. It's, as I said before, like, it's harder to predict the Protoss player, I feel. Just because there are so many options. And so many possibilities. So many. But GG, well played with that. Whew. Tempest does claim the win, and now we are getting ready for our next matchup. Oh. PvP? Un momento. Are setting up. Not Baby Marine? No, you raise a good point. I wasn't thinking about him. And when I was thinking of European Terran player, I was like Battle B is very inactive. Like, it's not gonna be Battle B. Like, I wasn't thinking of anyone else. But Baby Marine. Nah, true. No, okay. I can see the argument. I can see it. like I just wasn't thinking of Baby Marine. I think he's also an option. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think yeah. I can see it. I can see it for sure. For the Terran, I mean. But for now, we're gonna be settling into our next game and spawning in the bottom hand corner of Maganatha. We have our next opponent here. Once again, name is in Cyrillic, by the way, but we have our PvP spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha. We have the red Terran, sorry, the red Protoss player himself, the current king of the hill. It is Tempest. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss, who himself. It is Alpha. God, I don't. Let's go. Brings back the old Chinese meta when they had to play with so much lag they couldn't handle storms. I mean, you say that Phoenix Colossus was everyone was playing Phoenix Colossus, like Hero, Max, Showtime. Everyone was playing Phoenix Colossus like a couple of years ago. I do agree with what you're saying. Back in the day in WCS Americas, Chinese players, they would play, I'm thinking of Jim, like Jim would play very often Colossus based play, because, you know, to avoid ping. But a couple of years ago, Phoenix Colossus was the go-to for everyone. So very old, like when I say old school, I mean like, again, from a couple of years ago, like COVID era of StarCraft, 2020, 2021, 2022. As Tempest opening up with a fake proxy pylon. Okay. Meanwhile, 2-gate opener back across the map. 2-gate opener back at home as well. So both players are mirroring each other. Tempest is with a cheeky start to try to force an overreaction from his opponent. FataMorgana is Italian. Okay. There you go. You're convincing me more that it would be Baby Marine. Like, again, like in my mind, I just wasn't considering Baby Marine. Like, I just wasn't thinking of Baby Marine as an option. But like now that you bring it up, it's like, no, yeah. Like, I think the playstyle suits Baby Marine for sure. I can 100% see that argument. Less so from the name, but more so from the playstyle, for sure. You got me. Behind this robot opener, very safe play from our blue Protoss player. Very safe. Meanwhile, Tempest just expands. You can see here that a blue Protoss is searching for proxies, but the probe scout across the map confirms the expansion, and we may turn this into a one-base. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say into one-base all-in. Expands as well. So both players are expanding. We do have a safer build here from our blue Protoss, and gonna fake out of our red Protoss player. Sorry, I saw someone asking in the chat, like, but yes, as a reminder, exclamation mark yes in the chat. And again, the Google Doc is for who you think the player is, not who you think is going to win. So that's a heads up. Now though, to have our Twilight Council follow-ups out of our players. Hallucination comes into scout to confirm. With the initial robo going for the War Prism, we can harass with Adepts across the map. Let's go. Can settle for Adept harass. So Blue Protoss does wander in. Burns a shade. So far gets 1 probe, gets 1, gets 2, gets up to 3. Nice damage so far. And 3 workers go down. Shading into the natural, getting, oh, not quite another worker. And behind this, oh, it's going to be an all-in. We have glaives on the way. This is a very aggressive build. This is a build that was popularized quite some time ago by Hero, so it's going to be immortal production into glaive adepts. This does not scale well into a longer game, but it does hit very hard here on 2 bases. You can still take a third behind this, but it is still a very committed build, as there's no forge, no upgrades, no further tech, just straight up immortals and adepts. Now adepts, the way that they work in this composition is that they do tank stalker shots quite well. They tank stalker shots. Likewise, they do a great job at forcing your opponents to split off their army. More adepts into the main base, getting more probe kills, getting 1, getting 2 more, or getting 3 more. And they do get a 4th this time. So nice harass here from our blue Protoss. Yeah, massive gateway explosion, 5 gates on the way. It's going to be a 7-gate 2-base all-in. That's a lot of gateways. To be fair, we call it FataMorgana here too. Oh, there you go. Here we go. As the all-in is upon us, the prisoners coming together with the main army. 7 gates are finishing up. And it's going to be a tough hold for Tempest. Behind us has 1 shield battery. Does engage ahead of time, slowing this down. Tempest, he's on a 4-gate setup himself. 7 gateways now done for our blue Protoss. Does move in. Does move in, threatening a shade. Yo, yo, Shameless, mate. Remember what I said last game? How Shameless, he likes to throw down the spray under the pylon? Mate. I just noticed. That's a tell, just saying. Meanwhile, Does being on top of the army. Recalls back. Adepts are trying to keep up. Adepts are moving in. But I think Sebestis might do that as well, to be fair. But I remember I specifically said he does spray under the first pylon. Oh my god. Like verbatim, I said first pylon, he likes to spray. He went for it this time. Bappy. Regardless, he does hold, he does defend, 7 probes go down, but Tempest has a massive worker lead. Again, 45 probes, catches out the stalkers. The all-in has failed from our blue Protoss player. I like how in the middle of the fight is when I noticed, and that's what drew away my attention, but... Oh god, bit of mishap there. 1 stalker goes down. The thing that makes me second guess this is that, again, I don't think I've seen Shameless go Phoenix Colossus before. That's what's throwing me off. Like, this is something that Shameless does, but I think Sebestis does this as well. I think. See, this is where you have to look up VODs. Look up Sebestis VODs and see if he does that. And so far, Tempest does rotate, does move in. See, he tried that. He couldn't help himself. He couldn't help himself from spraying under the pylon. And I mentioned that this is usually a juice box, but because these are fresh accounts, they don't have all the sprays. They don't have them unlocked. For now, though, Tempest is just getting further ahead. He's getting up to 3-base saturation. Again, just building up mass stalker. Yeah, now he's just going for the kill. Now he died. I mean, he just has an overwhelming army. He dives in, blinks on the board, gets 1, 2 of the immortals, brings them down. Likewise, force a recall back home. We have massive depth across the map. Nice pickups here by Tempest. Likewise does find the Adepts, splits up his army. He has enough supply to pull this off. Do have a full wall. Adepts, they do cancel the shade. Still being chased down. Blue Protoss just trying to pull away, getting caught out. Now, obviously, I have my thoughts on who our red Protoss is. When it comes to blue Protoss, 2 base all in, Glaive Adepts, Immortals, defensive opener. It's hard to say. It's I want to say that I've seen Art do this. I want to say. Could this be Strange? True. I don't think Strange would have opened up defensively, though. I don't have enough information. I want the blue Protoss to win just to see more. Just to I need to see more of his matchups. We're just working off of so little information. So little, especially if he goes down. And again, he's still 2 base all in, by the way. Still completely all in on 2 bases. Any other tells? Like, the problem with Strange is that Strange is very aggressive as a player, but he often does like more unorthodox builds. Like, this is like one of the more like standard all-ins that you can go for. As Tempest pokes in, takes down the Prism, denies any reinforcements. Adepts are denied into the main. Collapsing the army, getting 1, getting 2, getting up to 3 Immortals. And there's just nothing left. There's nothing left here. Tempest will clean up, will shut this down. GG gets called, and Tempest takes down another opponent and puts another win on the board. GG. GG, well played. With that, Tempest will claim the win. Will take down... I would appreciate if someone could write the name in Cyrillic, if anyone is aware. But GG. GG, well played. Tempest will claim another win here. We'll take down Alpha, I will say for now. Alpha. And we'll see who's our next challenger. And again, it's hard. It's difficult for some of these because we only see one game from the player. So you have so limited information as to who that could be. Which is why I think there's value in waiting to see how some of these other players are playing. Like, in my mind, this could be Strange. And you could lock in Strange, and then bam, next game we get like a, I don't know, we end up in like in a PVC later with another Protoss that goes into like, I don't know, 3-gate glaives into an expand. It's like, yo, that's a Strange build. Like, that's like stuff like that. So it's hard to make that guess and make that prediction. But again, exclamation mark yes in the chat if you guys want to lock in anyone so far. Again, we've had Solana, we've had FataMorgana, we have had Coco, we've had Alpha, of course. I guess UD Soldier for Arnold, but now it feels more like Cougar. I've never seen Cougar play. Never seen him play. UD Soldier, maybe. Like I haven't covered much UD Soldier recently. It's hard to say. But yeah, with that, GG well played. We're now getting ready for our 5th best of 1. We're halfway through. Our next opponent is gonna be called the Reina. Okay. Reina, man. Reina is coming up next. I still do not know what race they're playing, but I do have a strong suspicion now that Tempest is Shameless. Strong suspicion that is Shameless. And I was sold on the idea earlier that FataMorgana was Baby Marine. Like, I was all in on Spirit earlier, but I mean, I just wasn't thinking of Baby Marine as a possibility. But now though, we're getting ready for our next vessel 1. We're getting ready. Who else could be some possibilities here? I mean, Gref. I wouldn't say so. Not yet. When it comes to the Zerg player, right? Sorry, I forgot about Nikic, right? I was thinking GG Machine, Wayne, Young Yakov. Nikic is also a player that is most likely going to be playing in today, or is like another possible pick. I will say that I feel like Nikic is usually a little bit more aggressive. Right, we haven't spoken much about the Zerg player. But yeah, Nikic is usually a little bit more aggressive. Was having a hard time. I can see an argument for GG Machine for the Zerg player or Nikic. Because I had such a hard time keeping up with the drop play, that's why I'm leaning a little bit away from Wayne and Young Yakov, because I feel like they would be able to keep up a little bit more. Maybe I'm rating them too highly, but like in my mind, that's the case. That they would be able to keep up. Death Mars is a Protoss that I haven't seen too much of recently. But another one as well. But here we go. Could be someone else just using a strange world for sure, for sure. The fire took my head, Susan. Oh no. True. The fire broke up. My head is flaming. As we are stepping into a PvT. Okay. Reina. Terran player. Let's go. Not a Cyrillic name, but could still be, of course, a player from the CIS region. 100%. As we are stepping into the ring here, into our 5th match of the broadcast. And this morning in the bottom 10 corner of Ultra Love, we have our red Terran player, our new challenger. It is Reina. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player himself, the current king of the hill. It is Tempest. I don't know if you heard, I almost just straight up said Shameless. Like, I will see, we'll see. We'll see how they do play this out. We'll keep an eye on them. I mean, like as I mentioned before, when it came to that spray, like Shameless is known for that, but I'm pretty sure either Sebestos or Fire do the same thing, where they also like spray quite often. That's why I said it's like more of like a zoomer thing, like the younger players. Double gas open already. Okay. Double gas opener, more aggressive. Remember, for the last Terran player for FataMorgana, we saw a lot of economic builds. We saw a lot of standard economic openers here. This double gas, faster factory, something more aggressive here already. You have my attention. Now with this faster factory, we can go into Reactor Reaper Hellion. We can go into an early tank push, early Cyclones. There are certain players that are known for 2 base all-ins in this matchup. I would say Nicoract. Nicoract is known for hyper aggressive builds against other Protoss players. Likewise, Milky Cow as well. The question becomes, if this Terran player eventually does turn this into a 2 base all-in, can you distinguish between Milky Cow and Nicoract? They do have certain styles that they're more known for, and certain all-ins that they're more known for. True. Can you make that determination? Likewise, Replicant as well. Protoss Aver, for now, settling in. For now, we have the faster reactor, so it's going to be Reaper first into Reactor from the side of Reina. Back at home, Tempest going for a standard opener. So far, so good. There it is! Yeah, once again, look at the spray. I'm telling you. He keeps doing it. Predictions are true. For now, there's that Twilight Console opener. Twilight Console opener further back in the main. Likewise, we do have our 1/1/1 Reactor Marine opening up Widowmine. Now, what I'm curious by here is, do we go for a second Widowmine? Do we go for a faster Tech Lab into a faster tank production, into a faster Cyclone? Here comes that drop. Yep, it's going to be Widowmine into Tech Lab. Not a double Widowmine drop. So a faster Tech Lab here from the Terran. With this, we can go into earlier tank production. We can go for an add-on swap, I suppose, into... What's sorry, add-on swap here into a faster Banshee play. True. There are different follow-ups. As here comes the drop in. Yep, there we go. Tank production is on the horizon for Reina. Opening up Marine Widowmine drop. Let's go. Reina does move out. SCV pool equals Milky Cow. I've seen Nicoract SCV pool. That's the thing. Like Nicoract, he also is like hyper aggressive. I mean, that's how we beat Max Max. I mean, no, to be fair, Nicoract did 2-base all-in Max Max, but did not SCV pool in that series. Ooh, as Stalkers, they do fall down. 1-2 Stalkers will be falling. Brutal pickups here already. Reina popping up. Chasing down that final Stalker. Another Stalker does warp in. Oh my god. Medevac does pull away in time. Nicoract can pull too, yeah, 100%. Like we've seen Nicoract pull the boys, and so does Milky Guy. That's the thing. Like they're both very aggressive in TVP. As they're building up the early tank production, 2 tanks already. Meanwhile, going for the Raven follow-up. Again, it was a nice start from the Terran. Third TC. No second or third racks. Okay, this is actually quite fast. Quite a fast third. This is not Nicoract. Like Nicoract, no shot. Nicoract will get a fast third TC like this in TVP. No shot. Milky Cow, is that you? Maybe. Maybe. Our stim is on the way. Again, this is going to be a second and third racks after the third TC. Like this is so greedy. Hold up. Well, this is when we start going big brain. Remember, if FataMorgana was not spirit, is this spirit? Huh. That's the question. So now we are building up. We do have our initial follow-up racks, of course, 4th and 5th racks. Tempest coming in the 3rd. For now, we're selling, and we're selling into a longer game. Say double Raven as well. Yeah, 2 Ravens outside the bases, ready for their own auto turrets. Building up into a faster 3rd, settling in, calming down. Despite the double gas opener, I mean, we saw what it led into. We saw it led into the initial mine drop into the Ravens, into the early tanks, but this is all more defensive here. More defensive, more economic. Oh, does notice the observer. I was about to point out. Does notice. Nice catch. Nice catch here from the Terran. But like again, because of the fast CC, I'm now ruling out like Milky Cow and Nicoract. I'm ruling out. Oh Jesus! Oh my god! 4 auto shots into the natural. Picks up 4 workers. Likewise, Tempest getting into initially Colossus, followed by Disruptors. I think what's important here as well is that Tempest is switching up his style. Remember, the last time we saw Tempest against Terran, he went for a Stargate opener into Phoenix Colossus. Now we see a Blink-based opener into Charge, into Fast Disruptors, into Double Robo Disruptor. But, I mean, after the Colossus, of course. But no Phoenixes this time, is what I'm getting at. So second Robo's on the way, getting to Disruptors. Something more standard here as a setup. Getting to a fourth. We are building up. Plus one air attack on the way. I mean, has of course confirmed the Colossus. Reina going for the 4cc. 4cc now in production, and we're getting to a longer game state. We're embracing a longer game. Yo, this is one out of left field. Like Gabe? I don't know if MindelVK has connections with Gabe as much. So I'm not really like considering Gabe or Clem. But meanwhile, drop towards left hand side, going for the base. The base is gonna go down. Massive pickup. Yeah, Tempest out of position. Likewise pushing on the right hand side as well. Reina going for the split push. Doing well for himself. Never going off. Oh. Never does go up, does connect. Decent connection, but the tanks are getting within range of the mineral line. Probes are falling. Tempest has to commit. Nova's going off, nice target firing on the first disruptor, on the second disruptor as well. Nice target firing. But the army is broken, tanks go down, Tempest is holding, but did lose that expansion. And is stuck on 3 bases. And Reina, even though Reina lost all those tanks, even though Tempest holds, the supply of the economy is still in favor of the Terran. 4th base now being taken. We got our mass bio army, mass bio bull. Again, it's mainly Marauder as well. So Marauder heavy, so tanky. Observer gets caught. Never's blowing up. Oh my god. Grazing the army. Likewise, Reina pushing in. Does take some Novas to the face. Does take the Novas, but he can tank it. And he will still overwhelm. Anti-armor missile here on the main army. Running out of charge lots. The Colossus, they do a lot in the back line. Nice force fields. Nice force fields here at a Tempest, but the Colossus are exposed. One Colossus goes down, he gets 1. Oh, he gets 2. And can we barely get 3? Oh, another Nova. Doesn't connect. Final Colossus falls. Brutal pick up here. And Reina has broken the back of Tempest. I say that there are more warp ins, more reinforcements. Tempest barely holding on. Oh, Disruptors are caught out though. Yeah, there's no way out of this. No Warp Prism. Targeting down 3 more Disruptors. Reina does pull away. Also, Reina, you can also argue, I guess, I assume Italian word for queen. I'm assuming it's the same in Spanish. True. That likewise once again dives in, takes out another disruptor. Oh, and another. Oh my god. Tempest, calm down. No, he cannot handle his balls. Novas, they get thrown away. Disruptors thrown away. And Reina again has done it, breaks down another expansion. GG gets called, and Reina will take it. Game number 1 will take the game and will become our new King of the Hill. GG. Queen of the Hill. Let's go. GG. GG, well played. With that, Reina will claim the win here. Very impressive performance, very strong play here. Again, faster 3rd CC, getting into a 4th base as well, embracing a longer macro game and pulling apart their opponents. Very impressive here. And we are going to be able to experience more games from this Terran player. So if you're a little bit on the fence as to who they are, if you're a little bit uncertain, we're going to see more. We're going to see more, so you can get more information as to who this player is going to be. Otherwise, exclamation mark, guess in the chat to place your bets. Nova's killed more than one Marine, so it can't be Clem. If we cast a TVP with Reina, and if they take storms to the face, then it's probably Clem. It's oh no. Not like this. Is a higher chance. Higher chance. But here we go. We're getting ready for our next matchup. TBD. And who's it gonna be? Is going to be here. Whew. As again, we are now past the halfway mark when it comes to today's broadcast, when it comes to our day one of the Anonymous Cup. Micro is Moja-like? Yeah, that's another play that I wasn't really thinking of. Moja is another option. True. It's another option. Yeah, that's for me personally. Like, Moja's another player that I haven't seen much of, right? Like, we casted Moja during Home Story Cup last year. Oh, as we do have an next challenger, SANTE. Okay, not Santa, not quite Santa. SANTE instead. Let's go. All caps. What race are they? Yet to be determined. Yet to be determined. Will today's names be revealed after the tournament is over or after today's games? That's a good question. That I cannot answer. I would assume it's going to be after the tournament ends, because I would assume that some of these players are going to be called upon once again tomorrow. I would assume, but I'm not 100% certain as to that. You know, I'll ask Mindel. Will as old TVZ, okay, Zerg player. Let's go. Terran versus Zerg. I have asked MindelVK if they're going to be revealed after day one or after the entire tournament finishes. So we'll find out soon. Here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Acropolis. Oh my, it's a blast from the past, man. Top left-hand corner of Acropolis, we have the Blue Zerg player, himself, the new challenger, I should say. It is SANTE. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the current king of the hill, the red Terran player. It is Reina. La Reina, papi, la Reina. Let's go. Here we go, as we are settling in to, I believe, one of the very old maps in the tournament map pool here. Acropolis has been quite some time. I say that, am I mixing it up with another tournament, with another map? Let's have a look. Acropolis was in the map pool back in 2019. There you go, there you go. Pre-COVID, pre-EPT. So it's been 6 years. Jesus, 6 years here since Acropolis has been in the map pool. It's been a very, very long time, but we are here. We are back once again. Now, is that a tell for our player here, for our Zerg player, by the way, to load into Acropolis? Are they an older school player? You know, that's ruling out GG Machine. I don't think he was born, but he's a young boy, papi. I think that rules him out potentially. For now, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of SANTE. Also, of course, predictions. Predictions going to be open in the chat. Place your bets. All right, but if I didn't mention it before, so I was a little bit distracted. But I have confirmation that the players are going to be revealed after day 2, after the tournament ends. So after the tournament concludes, then the players are revealed. Just as a heads up. But here we, oh my god, as we are rushing roaches, my apologies. I mean, it was a hatch gas full, but the roach one has been thrown down. Aggressive, very aggressive build here from our Zerg. Now the problem here is that I can see both Young Yakov and Wayne doing this. I can see them doing this. I can see Nickish doing this as well, actually. As the Reaper does rotate. Behind this third CC before starport. Economic build here out of our Terran player. Does open up economically. Likewise, roach production has begun. Going to be 5 roaches so far. Now this could just be 5 roaches into an expansion into a third. As we're getting up to 8 roaches, that's a big commitment here. Reaper does confirm lack of saturation, goes in, gets eyes on the roach one. He knows what's going on. Behind this, we have our starport on the way, going in towards Banshee play. Bunkers are being thrown down on the low ground, and behind this, SANTE is droning. This is not an all-in, he's droning up. It's going to be an 8 roach push into droning, into saturation, into an expansion. But just because this isn't an all-in doesn't mean this doesn't have to get damage done. Here we go. Something moves out. Maybe it's Snoot. You know, Reina responding here with Concussive Shell Marauders. Marauders are on the way. Concussive Shell as well. Roaches poke in. With all these Marauders. Oh, the body blocking! Oh my god! Happy, calm down. Slick moves. Marauder does bust in. Roaches, they barely get away. I believe not a single roach has gone down so far. Clean control out of our Zerg. Very clean. Pulls away in time. Getting a third base. I see if it all good, all good. All good. As Blast. Oh, they take down 2 SCVs. Not bad. 2 SCVs gonna be falling. Bunker will fall as well. And behind this, where's the Banshee? No add-on swap. No add-on swap, no Banshees. We have a Bunker on the high ground, thankfully. Reina does hold. Does hold onto the ramp. CC forced to lift. And instead going into a Viking, going into faster stim. Bold move, not going for Banshees despite the roach space opener. Very bold move. Oh, Dino Overlords. Behind this, SANTE double expanding. Taking more bases. Does take more bases. It's a reference to the LOL character? Maybe. Maybe? I don't know. Yo, if it's a reference to a LOL Reina? Sure. When I think of League of Legends and a soccer player, mate, Reina, Pat. If that's true, he could be him. Reina, what are you doing? Papi, aren't you in Korea? What are you doing awake? Get some sleep, Papi. Get some sleep. Ay, ay, ay. Hellion does move out. Hellion's doing it into the middle line, getting it 2 drones, not bad. Does rest him up. Yeah, I like someone else just caught on. Reina plays League of Legends, so clearly it's yeah. If it's a League reference, it's Reina confirmed. Oh no. It's not a Reina build though. Yo, Reina's been staying in Korea. He's been learning some new builds. Learning new builds. Star base is being taken. Behind this, going into his infestation pit. From here, we can go into safety infestors or rush in towards Ultra Tech. So Lingbane Road Ravager into Ultras would make the most sense here. We have 1-1 melee upgrades on the way. Show us that hive. As the pit is now done, SANTE double expanding. Taking away bases. Yep, there we go. Hive is on the way. This is a Shin follow-up. Obviously, there are no Koreans playing tonight, but Shin, he's very fond of going... Shin and Dark, they're very fond of going Lingbane Road Ravager into Ultras. If our Zerg player here isn't from the CIS region, honestly, I'm like leaning towards Mixu. I know that Mixu likes to emulate Dark when he can. And GG gets cheese. Ling Rama gets across the map. GG gets called. SANTE, before we can even think about the Ultras, Papi, he pops off, breaks on through, and SANTE, he will claim the game and take down Reina. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Ended before it could really fully begin here. I mean, again, Reina was in a really rough position from the earlier losses, being contained on one base for as long as he was, and with that, GG. SANTE, our new king of the hill. Congratulations. I wish we got a little bit more out of them. Like, again, if we want to try to guess who these players are, we need more, Pappy, and we're gonna get more of our Zerg, but less so from our Terran. GG though. GG nonetheless. Again, we did see Reina play very economic and very mid-game and even longer game oriented against Tempest earlier in that TVP. Here, I would say that Reina went for some greedy play early on. Again, I was a little bit shocked to see them not follow up with any kind of Banshee support, going into more bio-heavy composition instead. Stuck on one base, kind of almost underreacted to the roaches and was contained that much more. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting ready for our 7th match of the broadcast. Getting ready for match 7. KairoS. Okay. Oh, game is going to be on Tokamak. Here we go. It's a ref. Oh, as KairoS is a Protoss player. Let us go. As we are jumping into our next game. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have our current king of the hill with 1 win under their belts. We have the blue Zerg player. It is SANTE. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss player himself. Our new challenger. It is KairoS. Here we go. As we settle into our opener, settle into our matchup. As we do calm down. Actually, it can be G Machine Eba. Eba doesn't often go for roach rushes like that in ZVT. I don't think I've seen GG Machine do that either. So I would lean away from them, as they're not really one to go for that kind of style, from my understanding. For now, though, we do have a new contender, KairoS. Someone new to kind of try to guess and try to figure out who exactly they are. Once again, exclamation mark yes in the chat if you guys want a link to the Google Doc. If you feel confident, if you feel confidence when it comes to coming into your predictions, when it comes to who these players are, then go for your prediction, go for your guess in that Google Doc. Best of luck, man. Lock it in, lock it in. Meanwhile, standard opener, gate expand here out of our Protoss player. Meanwhile, we do have our hatch gas pool out of SANTE. Ooh. Just sprayed in the mineral line. Now, earlier I was, especially because we loaded into an older map, I was leaning away from it being a younger player. The spray, though. The spray, though. You've caught my attention. Yo, the spray meta. Wait, sorry, wait, was that was a spray from our Zerg player, right? I'm assuming. Not from the probe dipping in. Yeah, it was from the Zerg. You know who I think of when I see a Zerg player spraying? I think of Fiant. That's who I think of. I'm not saying that that's who that is, but like that's just where my mind goes. God, I mean the fact that we're also including like Europe as a whole for players stepping into the ring. Does he like League of Legends? But now though, I have initial Stargate opener going into the Oracle. So standard opener so far here from KairoS. Likewise, hatch gas pool still joining, nothing too crazy out of our Zerg player yet. Oh, sorry, hold on. I have to, I will, remove that prediction. There we go. There we go. Sorry, we do have a delay on stream, so predictions are a little bit late or a little bit wonky because of that. So I do apologize if we're missing some predictions here and there. Fast Evo Chamber out of our Zerg player going into, I would imagine, faster +1 melee. Meanwhile, that is a fast Twilight Council. Ooh, into early Glaives. So I'm leaning towards early Glaives here from our Protoss player. Third base is being taken. And if our Zerg player skips Roaches, they're going to be in trouble here, assuming that it's Glaives. So we'll keep an eye here on the Twilight Council. Double Oracle moving out. Double Oracle does move out. More gateways being thrown down and very committed play here. Going up to going up to 6 gateways. Typically it's 4 gate Glaives. Yeah, there it is. So 6 gate Glaive depths. This is more committed. This is a strange build. Like, yo, if we're doubling down and committing into more than 4 gateways to go into Glaives as a follow-up, man, this screams strange, I'll be honest. Strange. He does like his Glaive depths here in ZVP. If you watch Fire Group Cup, I think it was Fire Group Cup number 7 or number 8, Strange versus Wayne in the finals. Strange, he went Glaives every game in that best of 7. Every single game, and he clowned all over Wayne. So, I'm not saying it's 100% strange, but this is a strange build. Not saying it's unorthodox, just saying it's Russian Protoss player strange. But yeah, a lot more adepts are morphing in. Again, this is very committed here from KairoS. Whoever KairoS happens to be. Adepts, they break out. They do breakouts. They threaten a shade. Remember, no Roach Warren, pure Ling Queen to defend. It's going to be a tough hold here for the Zerg. Not impossible, but going to be tough. 26 Lings are in production. Adepts are moving out. Robot behind this. Going for the Forge. So far, SANTE has had time to react, time to respond. Adepts, they get into the mineral line. No major damage, though. 2 drone kills. 2 drones getting up to 3, getting up to 4. Nice target firing. Good position as well. Lings, they struggle to surround, but they will clean this up. The +1 melee popping off. And Adepts, they are going to be going down. 2 Adepts, they shade towards the natural. More Adepts here towards the right-hand side as well, but no drones to kill. And SANTE holds. SANTE does hold on. Did cost them 38 Lings. Again, it was a costly hold. And behind this, KairoS on 3-base saturation. Look at this, 65 probes here for KairoS. So it does bleed out all those Adepts, but did deal some crippling damage. Does pull back. We have +1 and Blink as a follow-up. And if these Lings don't do any counter damage, then KairoS is in a good position. Well, Lings going for the Stalker. Do you have a defensive weapon back at home? Here we go. It does pull back. Likewise, ooh, getting another worker. Oracle goes down. Bit of an extension here from KairoS. Does overextend. Likewise, behind the Spire, going to be on the way. Cheeky move here from our Zerg player, going into the Spire. Going to Link Main Roach Ravager. Roaches are amassing. And KairoS is building up. Getting to Immortals, getting to Storm. Just fully walling up here. More cannons, more shield batteries. Building up into a more robust army. But last, no scouting, not yet. Oracle on the right hand side, hallucination towards the left. And where's the Spire? Spire's here at the natural. And the Spire is going to be shut down. Sorry, the hallucination is going to be shut down. Doesn't quite scout the Spire, not yet. Back at home, nothing in the main. Nothing at the natural. KairoS is exposed. And mutas that can pop off. Yeah, as mutas they are revealed, going to be getting taken down to 8 workers already. Just at 8 workers. This is already getting out of hand. 8, 9, 10 probe kills. Does opt to fight the Stalkers and will bleed out some mutas in the process. At the same time, KairoS is pushing in. Yeah, KairoS has had enough. Does break out. We do have a surround coming in though. Lings, they get past the Storms. Storms are decent, but the Immortals are exposed. They're going to be going down. The Immortals are surrounded. Massive pickoff, and SANTE will completely swallow up the army. Yeah, 12 probe kills across the map. Main army does crumble. And SANTE is overwhelming, maxing out as well. Solid defense here from our Zerg. Building on more Lings. Building on more army. Guys, massing on more Link Bane. And rotating over. Stasis Trap going to be going off. Bane's going. Oh god! Bane is on a move. But it's going to be a solid trade anyway. Like SANTE, he's far enough ahead. Breaks through the main army, tanks some storms to the face. And there's just not enough here. Takes down the Stalkers, gets into the mineral line. And again, SANTE will overwhelm. GG gets called, and SANTE will claim another win. We'll put another point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. SANTE takes down Reina, takes down a KairoS as well. Again, a very aggressive opener out of KairoS going into 6-gate glaives. Unfortunately, I mean, was in a decent position in the follow-up, but what was unfortunate was lack of scouting. Did not quite or was not aware of the mutas. The mutas, they were able to get 10 probe kills across the map, and they forced KairoS all in, forced to push deep onto creep, and got surrounded. The surround was brutal. Despite the strong start, I would say it was a decent start there from KairoS, but the surround was brutal. Caught on creep, was shut down by the Link Bane. GG, well played. With that, SANTE claims a win here, and we are now getting into our 8th best of. Oh boy. Getting into our 8th best of 1. And we're seeing more of Santos. Oh, sorry, SANTE even. I keep saying Santos. Of SANTE. We're seeing more of them. I'm still not fully convinced as to who they are. For that last player, I mean, we'll see if we see more Protoss. We'll see if we see more aggressive Protoss players as well. Otherwise, I'm leaning towards Strange. But we'll see, we'll see. So we're getting ready for our next matchup. The next player to join the fray is called NotABarcode. Thanks for letting us know. NotABarcode. Good to know. As we are getting our videos going. The videos are on the way. And again, we're nearing the end of the broadcast. So this is the 8th best of 1, and we have 10 in total. 10 best of 1s in total. So we are nearing set end. As our players are setting up. Once again, when it comes to additional information to bear in mind when it comes to your predictions, is that it is 8 CIS players and only 3 European players. Like 3 players from outside of Europe, but from the rest of the EU. When it comes to CIS players, does count Belarus, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, and Russia. As a heads up. Night Phoenix. Night Phoenix can be cheeky with his builds. Maybe. God, there's just so many Protoss options. There's so many of them. I think Night Phoenix is a little bit more cheeky though. Like when I think of Night Phoenix, I think of a little more committed, a little more all-in play. Often, not always, of course. But now though, we are setting up. It looks like our next game is going to be on Eternal Empire. This was a map during the COVID era of StarCraft. I want to say like 2021-ish, 2021 era of StarCraft. Not too long ago. And NotABarcode is another Protoss. Oh boy. Is another Protoss player. Let's go. So we're here to experience another ZVP on a very large map, by the way. For those that weren't around for the era of Eternal Empire, for its time, it was the largest map in the map pool. Massive map, a lot of long late game, a lot of split map scenarios as well, a lot of sky toss. A lot of sky toss on this map. It's, good. I remember casting like over an hour-long game on Eternal Empire, infamously so. I think we casted, oh my god, was it Neve versus Gung Fu Banda? I think so. Yeah, Neve versus Gung Fu Banda during the TSL 6 qualifiers. Jesus. It was the NA server qualifier, I want to say. Neve versus Gung Fu Banda. It was brutal. It was a long game. Jesus. Skytoss versus Skytoss. For now though, we're going to be jumping in and spawning in the top right hand corner of Eternal Empire. We have our red Zerg player leading the series 2-0, or I should say the current king of the hill with 2 wins under his belt. It is SANTE. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, pylon blocking his opponents, we do have the blue Protoss player. He is NotABarcode. I mean, he is NotABarcode. The new challenger. Let's go. Let's go. And again, if you have any strong feelings as to who any of these players are, I mean, it's a little bit too soon for NotABarcode, but for SANTE, then of course you can commit to a prediction here with !guess in the chat. You'll get a link to the Google Doc, so you can place your prediction as to who you believe some of these players are. Meanwhile, gasless opener. Okay. Bold move. This is a very specialized build. I mentioned earlier that the build that we saw from our Zerg player here on Acropolis was very like Korean-esque. I'm referring to the Roach opener getting into Lingbane Roach into Ultra Tech, right? It was in the ZVT. Going for a gas opener as well. I mentioned that like the previous game did feel very dark to me. This one as well. No, say it's not Korean, obviously. There are no Koreans in here, but the build itself, like I'll be honest. We cast a lot of StarCraft on the channel. I don't think I've ever seen Wayne or Young Yakov open up gasless like this. Like I don't believe I've seen that. I have seen that from players like, you know, Fiant, like Iba, like Mixu. These other Europeans, like I've seen them like mix this in. Just as a heads up, again, I'm thinking back, I don't believe I've ever seen Wayne, Young Yakov, or GG Machine open gases before. Oh, wait, no, so there wasn't. I mean, this wasn't gases. My apologies. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Scratch all of that. Standard opener. Hatch gas cool, but faster third base. Okay. In my brain, I was thinking of a ZVT. God, I scratch all of that. But yeah, interesting. As things are building up. Sorry, was a hatch gas pool into a faster third. But it's all about being greedy here on a Turtle Empire. All about cutting corners. Once again, another older map as well. True. Once again, another older map. From here, pulling out of gas. Nothing crazy. Droning, saturating. But yeah, I do apologize. For some reason, I just didn't register the gas myself. Look, Pappy, it's 4 a.m. here. I'm sorry. 4 a.m., Pappy, 4 a.m. Dowlings, they poke in. 2 poke in. But again, Eternal Empire, it's been a long time. Definitely a lot of trauma on Eternal Empire. Like Sky Toss, a lot of mech as well on Eternal Empire. Oh, dark times. Yo, este Isaac in the chat. True, Peruvian Zerg player. Kappa. From here, we're just joining up. As a reminder, last game we did see plus on melee commitment to Lings early on, referring to the game against Glaive Adepts. Into eventually Lingbane Roach Ravager, of course. This time still droning, still saturating. We do have double Oracle moving out across the map. Likewise, we do have a standard follow-up here. Forge, Twilight Counts, Winter Plus on and Blink. So far, everything's looking normal from our Protoss. Like, this is very stock standard, assuming it is plus 1 and Blink. This is different though. Double Oracle into a later Void Ray. Okay. Later Void Ray after out of NotABarcode. Oracle's gonna be zoned away. Gonna be forced back. They are gonna be forced back. As we do have that standard fall. The Void Ray is throwing me off a little bit here. Like, it's not common that you do follow up with a later Void Ray like this. This does feel a little bit more stylistic. Lings, they collapse on in. Once again, +1 melee on the way. Oh.
Game paused.
Hopefully everything's okay. Do get a bit of a pause. Oh, good. Oh, literally for a second. Literally for a
Game
second.
resumed.
As gases are being taken. From here, this should be into a lair into Hydras. But last game we did see SANTE go into an earlier Spire, so Spire play is also viable. Into Mutas. Oh, okay. Behind this, going for the Temple Archives. Now, I don't think we've ever seen a Protoss player yet where we've started talking about someone like Gerald, for example. I mean, again, so far, solo play takes down the mineral line, 5, 6, 7 drones going down. Going into Not Colossus but Storm. So far, really standard play. Meanwhile, we spoke about this earlier, actually. We have the Spire and the Hydrogen on the way. Okay, SANTE. Going into +1 range and +1 melee. Is building up. Void Ray does come in from behind and does see everything. The Void Ray does confirm the Hydrogen and the Spire as well. Sees it all. Yeah, massive scout here from the Void Ray of all things. Like, not an Oracle, not a hallucination, but the Void Ray. Does scout, does confirm. You know, the value Void Ray. Lings, they collapse in from behind. I believe we do already have a safety Phoenix. Yeah, one Phoenix does pop out. Lings, they come in for the full surround. Ooh, forcing a cancel. Do cancel the expansion. More side defense on the way. Yeah, we are working towards Skytoss. Jesus. Second star. I mean, I say Skytoss, this should be Mass Phoenix just in case, or getting ready for that Skytoss transition. We're playing more defensive. Building up back at home. Wings, they come in for the surround. Oh, forcing a cancel. Not bad. SANTE pulls away. This is just getting up to 91 drones. Jesus. Building up into an insane drone count here. 91 workers, taking more bases. Now, because we've seen plenty of games of SANTE, this is not a laser. Like, a laser, this is greedy, yes. We're getting up to an insane drone count, but we would have seen something similar from this in the previous games as well. Like, this is unique because of the map. So I wouldn't attribute this to something like a laser play. It's just getting ready. It's just embracing the late game though, 100%. Spine crawlers here towards top side, towards the center as well, taking more bases, cut the map in half. Looking to max out on 95 drones. Which is insane. Pulls away. Likewise, NotABarcode getting into Skytoss. Tempest production has begun. Because the Spire got scattered, that's why we haven't seen any mutas. Is working on those upgrades though, which will still be valuable coming in against Skytoss. But we are just embracing the late game. Like, we're both going and rushing into, it's going to be Hydra Lurker Viper out of our Zerg player and Skytoss alongside some Storm support from our Protoss. Oh boy. Here we go. So we are building up. Double rover behind this. Yo, you know someone who I wasn't thinking of, so I was bringing up Gerald earlier. And I'm still like, again, like this has been a really solid play out of our Protoss player. Building up and getting to late game. Part of me was thinking Gerald, part of me is skillless, Nikita, 100%. Like I can definitely see Nikita playing in this tournament and stepping in from for the CIS region. But we'll see. It's still early, right? Like it's still the first game we're seeing NotABarcode. But now drop a Lord into the natural. But there are cannons in position, warping as well. The drop lords, they do nothing. Heading into the main. They head into the main base, so you get a full surround. The cannon does fall. Things are being cleaned up. Ooh, taking down the High Templar. Nice catch with the Lings. Lings, they get 10 pro kills in the main. Not bad. Likewise, the space is being denied. The Lunkers are in position. Oh, coming with the Russians. Not bad. Gets one, takes down one Tempest. Takes down another. This is being a little bit cheeky with those Hydras. Taking down the base. Blackcrest moving in. Oh! Going to the Tempest. We'll bring it down. Let's try pulling back. To pull away. More Tempest still building up. Nidus does complete. Lurkers, they bust in. Thankfully, there's a recall. Yeah, recall back home, but the Nidus Swarms are continuing to try to evacuate. There's a Cloak. Cloak does pop off. Lurkers, they split. Get a nice attention to detail here from SANTE. Does split off. Nidus into the main. SANTE being active, but running into a wall of side defense. Jesus, that's a lot of cannons. That's a lot of shield batteries. We'll shut this down. Storm connecting as well. SANTE's holding on. Does defend. Sorry, but NotABarcode I meant to say. Does hold on. Does defend. To take some losses, but again, both armies are maxed out. Also, I think I know who this red player is. I think. But we'll see, we'll see. For now, oh, getting to the base. Does force a cancel. Nice little run by. NotABarcode pushing to the center. Oh my god, the storm, Jesus! Storm's catching out all the Lings. The bait was real. At the same time, though, big distraction. Nidus into the main. NotABarcode out of position. Is racing back over. Lurkers hammer the production. But the Oracles have arrived. Likewise, Corruptors are coming in from behind. We'll see what they can catch. Tempest, they shut this down. Gotta clean up all the Lurkers. Nice clean up here from NotABarcode. Corruptors are coming from behind, but there are the Storms. Yeah, Storms do connect. We get a power bomb. Powerbomb here on the Tempest. Oh, getting so much damage. He does stack. Yeah, late split, but does save the Tempest. Tempest is saved, and what was that? That was 12 lurkers going down, 6 corruptors as well. That was a much better fight for the Protoss. Bleeding out mainly zealots and 14 probes. The banks are building up. But yeah, NotABarcode is securing his Skytoss army. Likewise, I have a pretty good idea for the Protosses as well. But regardless, SANTE pulls away. Even Vlad doesn't know who it is. No one knows. Yeah. It's kept hidden from everyone involved. Yeah, I'm gonna be predicting later for sure. I'm gonna get in on this, mate. Let's go. Zonkas are moving in. Oh. So far, the Tempest, they reign supreme. How many corruptors do we have? Only 9. Uh-oh. Only 9 corruptors. Nice fungal. Recall to save the Tempest. Likewise, 1 Tempest still falls. Nice moves there from NotABarcode. Very nice moves. Tempest once again still moving in. Oof. Feedbacks here on the army. Tempest are getting called out. Sorry, I should say lurkers getting called out. Tempest just catching free lurkers. Where are the storms? There we go. Storm on the corruptors as well. And NotABarcode is just breaking through this. Just completely mowing through this army. Takes down the lunkers. Barely does save those High Templar. Zealot run by running into a wall of spines. More Zealots on the way. Zealot run by as they continue. Only tournament organizers know. I think MindelVK probably knows, but even then, I'm not. Yeah, of course, because MindelVK, he does run the event, and he invited the players, obviously. So, of course, big shout to MindelVK for hosting the tournament, for bringing it all together. Yes, he did invite all the players. And of course, shout out to Hatsu for adminning as well. Behind this, going into Corruptor Ultra. Now, the purpose of going for an Ultra switch like this, which is better than Lurkers, is that this has more dive potential. The goal is to get on top of the High Templar. Ooh, nice catch. Nice catch on that Infestor. NotABarcode pushing forward. Takes down the spines. Oh, nice slow zone. Feedbacks here on the Vipers as well. And the base is falling. SANTE's having a hard time keeping up. Has a bank to work with. Ultras are coming from behind. But they don't quite collapse in. The Corruptors are going to be completely shut down. Storms on the Ultras. Nice fungal, but the Corruptors are so low. Yeah, the Corruptors, they just melt. And the Tempest, they reign supreme. They take the fight. Ultras are going down one after the other. We have a 16 Corruptor Remax. But that was such a good fight for the Protoss, for NotABarcode. Meanwhile, Zealots, they bust into the natural, they catch more drones. We can see NotABarcode remaxing with Void Ray, which is a good counter to the Corruptor. Now, I'm not too fond of going too heavy into Void Rays just because Vipers can do so well against like a pure Skytoss army. Ideally, you do want some High Templar, you want some Archons, you want ground support. But I would imagine that NotABarcode is just concerned about the Ultra count. Like, Ultras are designed to shut High Templar down. So it's a rough position here for NotABarcode when it comes to the Remax. There we go. Immortal production has begun. That's for the ultras. More spine coolers being thrown down. NotABarcode moving in. Zoom through most of this creep. Oh. Likewise, that Quad Remax coming in. Nice fungal. Fungal does connect. How many Quads do we have left? 26. 26 Corruptors. Yeah, Tempest, they're getting caught out. Massive Power Bomb as well. We spoke about relying on pure Sky Toss, and Void Rays a little bit too little too late. A massive fight here for SANTE. Breaks through the main army. Now, NotABarcode has a massive bank, has 4k gas in the bank, but it takes a long time to remax. Ooh, the ultras do fall though. We can remax with the ground army actually. Let's go. So far, Tempest are on the way, Immortals as well. NotABarcode does hold, does defend. Now we're burning through that bank. Both players are. Banks are still comparable. There's a lot of minerals in the bank for SANTE, that's true. A lot of minerals, but minerals isn't as important. So you can see he's just making nothing but lings. Okay, ling remax. NotABarcode rotating over. Does rotate, running into wall of spines. Nice storm. Storm pops up. Corruptors once again, they dive in the Void Rays. Void Rays should be cleaned up, and the ground army as well. Yeah, Ling Ultra overwhelms. Storm's not good enough. And these have been some rougher fights here for NotABarcode. Again, half his armor was out of position. Oh, the Corruptors are low. Archons doesn't take much. It doesn't take much here. Corruptors gonna be forced back. Ultras, they get cleaned up. Better fight for NotABarcode. We have 10 more Corruptors on the way. Going into Corruptor Hydra Ultra. Okay. Interesting. A little bit of everything. The Hydra's on the way. I believe those Hydras may just be for lurkers to go back into lurker tech. But there we go. NotABarcode breaks through the main, breaks through the defense. Storm on the Lings. And the fight does barely go the way of the Protoss, but Banelings, they roll in to clean up the High Templar. And NotABarcode does overextend. There's that recall, saves most of the Tempest. One Tempest goes down. Yeah, we're getting scrappy, we're getting messy. Doinks the Tempest. Doinks one, catching up the rest. Yeah, the Tempest are exposed. Another one goes down. And the Tempest count is going to be reset. Massive catch. The Tempest are on their own. NotABarcode going into Mass Archon. When it comes to our economies, I mean, we're running out of bases in a sense. Like, a lot of these bases, they're running out of resources. We still have top left, fresh mining base. We have center left as well. So 3 bases. We have like essentially half a base, and then 2 bases here. So 3 bases for SANTE. There's still 1 base that hasn't been taken. As Ultras, they hit the center expansion. Oof. Banelings crash in, 17 probes go down. And likewise, Corruptors, they can't put production. SANTE, has he done it? Looks like he has. Okay, he breaks on through, takes down the center expansion. NotABarcode has to bring it all together, but once again, it is burning through that bank. Running out of gas. Both players are. Both players running out of gas at this point. We have 18 more Corruptors on the way. That's a lot of Corruptors. Likewise, SANTE rebuilding all those spine cools, all that side defense. No lurkers, just the Hydras now. Nice Zealot run by, let's go. Denies the Spine Crawlers, gets into the mineral line. Zealots are going to be cleaned up. Meanwhile, NotABarcode taking that northern base flash. I think he can hold on to it. I mean, if he can, that may just be game. That's how many Corruptors? 25! 25 Corruptors. They don't commit. Slow zone does earn them away. But again, both players, they barely have any gas to work with. I mean, I say that, it's still 1,000 gas for SANTE. Still 1,000. Still building up. Things they do attempt to counterattack, forcing back some of the army. And again, SANTE he has to use he has 10,000 minerals. Like, he has to make Lings. Like, what else can he do outside of static defense? So Ling Ramai forcing warp ins. Catching up more static defense, forcing back the army. These things are being quite a nuisance. And it's worth it for SANTE to just keep on making Lings and just keep going for these run bys. Just keep on going. Just to pick off cannons here and there, shield batteries, whatever you can get. So worth it for SANTE. Feels like one of those 1 hour games that live was we're halfway there, but nah, I feel like our players have been too active for that. Like, the hour-long games are when we turtle up and we don't fight. When we just stare each other down for like 25 minutes at a time. That's when you get those hour-long games. Here, NotABarcode does take a fresh mining base, but has limited resources right now. Like, the bank is not quite there. Yo, the Burrowed Infestor. Looking for another fungal. It's 23 Corruptors. 23. Oh, gets a free Tempest. Free Tempest goes down. NotABarcode pushing into the bases. Has to be careful. Tells when it gets surrounded. Pulls back for now. Lings, they take over the Xel'Naga. Oh, Infestor extends. Runs into the Observer. Does run in. And we spoke earlier, but I do love these Ling run-bys. Again, SANTE, he has 12,000, 13,000 minerals in the bank. It's worth it. Just keep going for these Ling run-bys. They can achieve so much. If they bait out a storm, they kill One-Eye Templar. Catching pylons here and there, forcing warp-ins. Getting to the natural. 32 more Lings on the way. Just keep sending it. When it comes to the main armies, we can just stay on the army tab here, as there's not much in production. 8 Tempest, 8 Immortals, 8 High Templar, 888. Let's go. From NotABarcode. That's a very solid main army. 23 Corruptors from SANTE. 1 Viper, no Infestors. Ooh, the lack of Spellcasters is concerning for the Zerg, but there we go. Just non-stop Ling run-bys. Again, just a really good use of these minerals for the Zerg. Army gets turned away. SANTE trying to keep up with those Banelings, with the Hydras. Lings catching more production. as these things are getting out of hand. They're getting out of hand, they're getting out of control. There's a Tempest here to defend, but I mean, the Corruptors can try to snipe. Corruptors for now, they're being left idle. Just the Ling Rumbai. They just keep going. It's just more Ling Rumbais. Like with 13,000 minerals, you can afford it. Keep going. Breaking into the main, going for the Nexus. Brings it down. Means recalls are limited. Oh, Corruptor's going for the dive. And they get the Mothership. Yeah, the Mothership does go down. Massive pick of Parabomb as well. On the Tempest. Tempest, they can tank a Parabomb, but that's quite a bit of damage. Likewise, Ling Bane on the right-hand side. And NotABarcode just being torn apart. Torn apart left and right. Almost caught in between the bases thanks to the Ling Rumbais. And is denied a crucial mining base. Oh, going back into Lunkers. Back into Lurker production. 2 more Infestors. That 1 Viper still alive. Meanwhile, massive Ling Flood. What is it to defend? There's just 1 Archon. And oh my god, the Storm is... Jesus. Hold on a second. The Storm is insane. Let's go. The value. The cash money Storms. Lings, they find some more cannons. They find another base. Again, we're running out of resources. Top left, 1 patch left. So what's important here is that because this base is being taken later, like technically NotABarcode still has income, but very soon SANTE will have nothing left. We'll have fully mined out. He has 1 patch top left, 1 patch center left. Here he's got half a mining base. He has a bank, of course, but the gas is my big concern for both players, really. I mean, I guess you can still keep just keep going for these Ling Rumbais. Still 9,000 minerals in the bank for the Zerg. Speaking of a gas bank, though, Zealot Rumbais. Well, we could have been going for earlier here. Going for some of the tech. Oh, catching out 2 Infestors. Bit of mispathing there from the Zerg. But these Zealot Rumbais are almost the equivalent of what the Zerg has been doing, right? Ling Rumbais have been insane. Zealot Rumbais, they get a Spire. They get 1. Greater Spire is under threat as well. Lings are responding. First army moves in. But here come the Corruptors. Here comes that Sky Zerg. Uh-oh. And NotABarcode is committing. Oh, pulls away. Does pull away. Lurkers, they come in from behind. Nice revelation. Does notice. And here come the Corruptors. Archons are coming into zone. There's the cloak. Does back up. Here come the Storms. Yeah, massive feedbacks. Storms as well. Ultras are getting choked up. Good Parabomb here. Good Parabomb on the Tempest. Oh, but the Storms are brutal. And NotABarcode has done it. He breaks on through, takes down the Corruptors. Brutal Storms. And he's going in for the kill. I have 16 Corruptors on the way as a Remax. Oh my god, the boys, he's out of money! He's out of money! No more income. No more minerals. I mean, the drones don't have as much value now. But again, 14 Corruptor Remax designed to hunt down these Tempest. But there are a lot of Storms. It may not matter though. Corruptors, they can tank some Storms. Meanwhile, the entire mineral line is going down, getting all the drones. There's that recall. Let's get the hell out of here. Recalls to the natural. Okay. Interesting. Doesn't recall to a stack defense. Ooh, I'm not too fond of this recall, as the army's going to be out in the open. The army has to race back over. Corruptors are amassing. The hive went down. The hive went down. No Vipers. No Vipers, no Infestation, but no Infestors either. 0 Spellcasters for the Zerg. He lost all his tech. GG, he lost all his tech. GG gets called, and NotABarcode will fight back. Will be our new King of the Hill. GG. Whew, oh my god. GG, well played. A very, very intense match here. NotABarcode does prove his worth, does prove his mettle here. Oh my god. Does claim the win and is our new King of the Hill. GG, well played. Whew, oh my god, a very intense game as well. Very intense. Very clutch. I mean, it did kind of prove a lot and does give a lot of praise to both players, both SANTE and NotABarcode. I mean, SANTE was already on a win streak here, taking down Reina, taking down KairoS as well, but able to show off some late game versus NotABarcode, and very impressive as well. GG, well played. With that, NotABarcode does claim the win. Again, exclamation mark. God damn it. We have our next opponent, by the way. We'll get into their name. But GG, well played. And if you're out there, exclamation mark yes in the chat if you have an idea as to who these players are. You can predict. Best of luck. As up next, we have we have our next anonymous player. This is our 9th best of 1 of the broadcast. It's gonna be NotABarcode versus LadyGaGa. God damn it. Okay, who's a LadyGaGa fan? Who out there do you know? I think I have an idea. If I see someone with a name like this, they're a clown, baby. They're a clown. Here we go. We're getting to the next game. I'm gonna be loading into Death Aura. PvP Protoss player. Let's go. Clearly, Reina off racing. Clearly. As we are getting into our next game, let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner here of Death Aura, we have the red Protoss player, himself, the new challenger here. We'll see what he brings to the table. We'll see what he brings on an old map like Death Aura. It is LadyGaGa. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the current King of the Hill, with 1 win under his belt. It is NotABarcode. Zerg tried 100 things, Protoss simply stayed on Skytles and win. Zerg made 100 links, if that's what you mean. But something that we were emphasizing is the lower spellcaster count that the Zerg player had, which did hurt them so much. If you remember, they were relying on 1 Viper for a long time and had a hard time retaining their infestors as well. Without those spellcasters, without a more complex army, it can be very difficult to contest against a Skytles force. So yeah, I would definitely go with Cannon Rush. Yeah, no surprise here. LadyGaGa go for the Cannon Rush. This has to be Gref, by the way. The Cannon Rush is upon us. Forge gets thrown down. I mean, the name screamed it to begin with, I'll be honest, but we are coming to the Cannon Rush. I mean, to be fair, could be Bonan, but I think this is Gref, as we are trying to get past. Oh my god. As we are setting up the cannon on the low ground. Oh, probe does get sniped. There's 1 probe left. Pylon getting focused down as well, removing high ground vision. But there's still that high ground pylon behind this. There's still that high ground pylon. Cannon is finishing. The Zealot's going to be targeted down. Still has high ground vision. Not bad. The cannon is done. We still have a probe, but it's only 1 cannon so far. 2nd cannon's on the way. Behind this, no Cybercore. Defensive forge from NotABarcode. There we go, going for the defensive cannon. Typically, this is how you want to defend against a cannon rush, is with your own defensive cannon. Ooh, trying to break through. The wall is rebuilt. Lack of target firing on that probe. But there we go. Stalker's being chronoed as we speak. Wall is broken. But we're just buying time. But the cannons are on the way. There's that high ground cannon within range, though. Cannons within range. Probe is being targeted. Probe goes down. No more probes. Yeah, no more probes. The cannon rush is running out of steam. And NotABarcode has control of his main. Takes down the cannon. Stalker is out. And this should be a hold. This should be a D. I mean, it's going to be close in a sense. But I believe with this one cannon going down, you can actually fire upon the pylon without the other cannon being within range. As long as the Stalker doesn't go down. Yeah, and the cannon falls. Cannon does fall. With that, NotABarcode does hold, does defend. Probe is out on the map, setting up a proxy. And LadyGaGa does have the higher probe count, true. Has a better economy, actually. My apologies, I didn't quite notice, but yeah, is getting fully saturated. Sends out another probe. LadyGaGa, we can still pull this off. Oof. Yeah, is that one probe still providing high ground vision? NotABarcode in a rough position here. May have looked solid in that long late game, but here, it's... Here is struggling. Going for the proxy Stargate, Oracle into the main. Meanwhile, safety cannon, but not a safety shield battery. LadyGaGa still taking up. Has a higher probe count, but just now finishing up the cyber core. There goes Stargate across the map. Going for the Stargate. Proxy Void Ray, not a proxy Oracle. Let's go. But the reason why I think this is Gref and not Boanan, one, Boanan does cannon rush a little bit differently, but also on top of that, if you remember, it's only 3 non-CIS players. So depending on your predictions, if you were assuming, you know, certain non-CIS players, you're limited with that. You are limited. So when I think of a CIS cannon rusher, I think Gref. I don't think Boanan. Obviously, he's not from the region, but let's go. Going for the going for the natural. Let's go. As the pylon is going to be targeted down. Alright, guys, force back. Void Ray is going to be forced back. I mean, we have our proxy Stargate. Void Rays are amassing. Going for the Cyber Core. We have a defensive Void Ray trying to race back home, but I mean, I feel like LadyGaGa should have enough here to break through. Looking to deny Warp Gate. Yeah, there's prismatic alignment. Warp Gate is denied. Massive pickup. Going for the Stalkers. Ooh, we'll lose the cannon though. Cannon goes down. There is that Void Ray. But now getting up to 2 Void Rays. Forge does fall again. The Void Rays are just slowly getting more value. Slowly getting more ground. That does recall. I see Tommy Gunn saying that apparently Gref is in MindelVK's chat. So I mean, can Gref cannon rush and chat at the same time? I think he can, but But I guess that's in a way kind of outsider information. Oh, I mean I feel like a lot of people are probably watching, especially obviously from the CIS region. MindelVK's stream is the mainstream. If Graph is in the chat, then that would rule him out. True. Would rule him out. Say it's Michnek. I haven't casted as much Michnek. I know less of Michnek, but maybe. His Oracle does fall. But see, that's how they trick you. If they can type something in MindelVK chat while they're playing. But here we go, the forward raise a pop-off, massive prismatic alignment, catching out the stalkers. GG gets called, and LadyGaGa does take the game, and does, or is our new king of the hill. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And I would not be surprised if we see more cannon rushes from here, as LadyGaGa is going to be our king of the hill coming into the final best of one of the broadcast. Let's go. Let us go. Again, NotABarcode was looking very impressive in the last game on Eternal Empire in a long macro game, but anyone can be cheesed out. We've seen Zest lose to a cannon rush. We've seen Maru lose to a cannon rush as well. Cannon rushes, they can catch out even the best of players. Whew. I mean, we've even seen Hero be cheesed out as well. So with that, GG well played. LadyGaGa does pop off. And we're now getting ready for our final best of one. Now, something that I was going to say, when it comes to your predictions, again, exclamation mark yes in the chat to get access to the Google form, to get access to the predictions. But bearing in mind, the Google form does let us know that only 3 non-CIS players are playing tonight. Only 3. So you yourself, when it comes to your own predictions, when it comes to who you think some of these players are, you have to bear that in mind and help that kind of dictate or indicate your decisions when it comes to who's playing, right? If you think, oh, this player was Spirit, if you think this player was, I don't know, like a Fiant or a Mixu or an Iba, or a Baby Marine, for example, then you have to like calculate that in your mind and be like, okay, if this means like if these are non-Europeans, sorry, if these are Europeans and these are CIS players, and like, you know, there's something that you have to juggle yourself as well when it comes to considering who these players are. Here we go. But now we're getting into that final best of one. The final series here. Who's up next? Oh, okay. We have the answer. It's someone called LudwigCursed. Okay. Interesting. We go. We'd have LudwigCursed as the final ID of our anonymous player. Let's go. Any chance we at some point can know how many links went down that previous game? I would say over 200, but no. It'll take quite a bit to go back into that. Oh no. Catching up. Queen of the Hill. True. Queen of the Hill is back. For now, though, again, we are going to be settling in. I still don't know who LudwigCursed, what race they're playing. We'll let you know soon. Game is going to be on pylon. Game is going to be on pylon. And again, this is our final series. What race are we? Let's go. We're here to find out. Of course, LadyGaga, the reigning king of the hill. And it looks like a PvP. Okay, another Protoss. Another Protoss player. Is this where we kind of rush each other? Uh-oh. So we are jumping in. So we are jumping into our final series, our final best of one of the broadcast, and spawning in the top left hand corner of pylon. We have our pink Protoss player. We have our current king of the hill. It is LadyGaga. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the green Protoss. It is LudwigCursed. And here we go. Our PvP does continue here. And do we go for another forge? Based on the pylon setup, this looks like another cannon rush. This looks like another cannon rush here by LadyGaga. Let's go. Oh no. Good luck, Ludwig. Hi, have fun, Chris. Again, like, yeah, I mean, we are kind of rushing each other here. It's gonna be the forge from one, the forge from the other. We did call LadyGaga Gref earlier because of the cannon rush, but I mean, if you're playing against Gref, then the counter would be to cannon will be your own defensive forge. Like, a defensive forge is a hard counter to a cannon rush in PvP, and that's exactly what Ludwig is going for. So forge on the high ground with a gateway, walling up, walling up. And this cannon rush is being denied. We do have a cannon on the low ground, but here comes that defensive cannon. Like, this is just a hard counter. Like, we're just holding. We hold on to the main, we hold on to the ramp. From here, LadyGaga has a transition. Gateway's on the way. Extra gases as well. We're working on that next step. Again, as you can see, the high ground cannon can reach the low ground cannon, so the cannon rush has, at this point, failed. Ludwig defends, and Ludwig is getting ready for a proxy, actually. Pylon has been thrown down. LadyGaga has seen the pylon. Has seen the pylon, going for the proxy gateway. I mean, it helps that Ludwig did assume that it was going to be a... I mean, again, Gref does nothing but cannon rush, so Ludwig did assume. Likewise, LadyGaga also proxying as well. There is still a Stalker out on the map, though. Yeah, Stalkers, they just walk past the cannons. Like, they just ignore it. Stalkers, they just walk out. Going for a proxy robo, one base all in out of our green Protoss player. Likewise, proxy Stargate out of LadyGaga. So proxy Stargate versus proxy robo. But Stalker's already moving out. Do we have defensive cannons? It's one cannon on the way. Cannon. Stalker's being chronoed. Zeld as well. LadyGaga does have some defenses. The problem here that it's so difficult to call who Ludwig is, because like this is just like the build itself, I should say, is just a hard counter against a cannon rush, just assuming that LadyGaga would cannon rush again after seeing the last game, which is a good call, but like anyone would do that. Oh no! Oh, the Stalker's trapped! Oh no. Stalker is trapped. Extra Stalkers on the way. Likewise, extra warpins. Ludwig moving out. It does move out. There is a cannon on the high ground. I don't know if 5 Stalkers are going to be enough to break this. The Prism has arrived though. Extra reinforcements on the way. Catch out the Stalker. Stalker does overextend. And Ludwig, he is pulling this off. Oh, I say that. Void Ray has arrived. Nice control. Does blink away. There's that prismatic alignment. Ludwig will save those Stalkers. Does save them, does move in. Denies the cannon. Likewise going for the other cannon as well. Bringing it down. The control is on point, by the way. Very nice control. Okay. Oh my Jesus, the attention to detail. One Stalker does finally fall. Another Void Ray on the way. Rallied back home. Was right for a moment. But there's still so many Stalkers. We can 2-shot. Sorry, we can 3-shot. We can and we will. Yeah, the Void Ray goes down. GG. Congratulations, Art. As Ludwig will take the game. GG. Again, very impressive play there. Very impressive by Ludwig. It does overwhelm, does take down LadyGaGa. And I'll be honest, I don't know if there was really much of a tell there. I mean, we have who Gref assumes it is. Assuming that it's Gref as well. I mean, again, the cannon rushes is what led us to believe that to be the case. But it had some really nice control, really nice micro. I'll be honest, there was a previous Protoss player that I thought was Art. I'll be honest, there was a previous Protoss player that we did feature earlier today that I was tempted to assume was Art. If you remember, I'm very on the fence with Tempest. Whether that was Shameless or Art, but I think I'm leaning more towards Shameless for Tempest. Regardless, GG. GG, well played. In the end, LudwigCursed is going to be the final King of the Hill of the event, and will take that game 10. GG. GG, well played. And with that, that is our final series of today's broadcast. Now, this event is going to continue until tomorrow. We have day 2 tomorrow. Day 2 is also tomorrow. And again, exclamation mark, yes in the chat if you want to place your prediction on who you think some of these players are. As a reminder, just to reiterate, for today's broadcast, there were 3 European players and there were 7 CIS players. So for CIS, that is categorized as specifically Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, and Kazakhstan. So players in that region. When it comes to players getting involved here, there are certain players that that I feel like most likely did play tonight. Players like Gref, players like Shameless, players like GG Machine, Young Yakov, Wayne, Milky Cow, Nicoract, Strange. Yo, those have definitely played. Definitely a player that was playing very similar to Strange earlier, if you recall. Likewise, potentially Replicant, potentially Nikic, Art. When it comes to the non-Europeans, I mentioned earlier that because Indy was casting, it's almost a guarantee that we had some Polish players tonight. One of the Terrans did actually remind me quite a bit of Spirit. There were definitely some similarities there. There was definitely floating the idea of one of the Terran players being Baby Marine as well, for sure. Gerald definitely could have been one of the Protoss players. Christiana maybe could have been one of the Protoss players as well. Speaking on the Polish side of things. So yeah. Best of luck with those predictions. I do recommend checking out the VOD to help you with that, maybe like getting a better idea of the player IDs or how they were playing themselves. There's definitely a lot to digest and a lot to get into when it comes to trying to theorize yourself as to who each player is. And again, you can place one prediction for each ID, for each player. As a reminder, when it comes to the rule set here, if you submit multiple predictions for one player, and if you change your mind later, your first prediction is the one that's locked in. So if you're like, oh, LadyGaga is Boanan, and then you realize, oh, actually that might be Gref. If you already predicted Boanan, if you already submitted Boanan, then that's already locked in. For example, if you later try to resubmit as Gref or as another Protoss player, like I know, like a Michnek, for example, well then it's already a bit late for that. It's already locked in, so too late. Likewise, also be very careful with your spelling. It's already stated in the Google Doc, but if you misspell, if you type in like Radita or Vanya instead of Wayne, then it won't count. So you have to type in Wayne, or if you type in Mindel instead of MindelVK, then it won't count. That's the listed example. I guess if you type in machine instead of GG machine, or if you type in, I don't know, soul instead of spirit, or Piotr instead of spirit, like that won't count. You have to type in their current ID for it to register. As I'm sure the tallies are a little bit more automated, so you have to make sure you get your spelling correct. And likewise, I'm not certain if it's case sensitive, but make sure that you have the correct case sensitivity as well when it comes to capitalization and lowercase letters as well. Just to make sure. So make sure you take care when it comes to your submissions. Take care. Ludwig seems to be showtime to me. Random. Oh no, sorry. Didn't play random. Didn't play Protoss. Didn't play Protoss. There we go. We'll switch it up. It was random initially because I didn't know what race they were, so I do apologize. Last game, yes, last game. Mana could have been one of them as well. True. Mana definitely could have been involved, but again, like that's why you have to keep track of which players that you believe are from like outside of CIS region to limit them, right? To limit them to make sure that it like fits with the criteria that was listed. That there are only 3 non-CIS players. So you factor that in to your predictions. And best of luck as well. For those that are curious, all the points you do for every correct prediction, then you will get a point. And at the end of the event, the top 2 players, I believe, the top 2 with the most amount of correct predictions will earn some prize money. Will earn some money. But otherwise, GG. Otherwise, GG. Well played. Whew, aye. Again, it was a lot of matches, a lot of games. Sorry, a lot of players to try to remember as well. That's why I do recommend checking, maybe looking up the VOD, whether it's here on Twitch or on YouTube, where it's streaming on both platforms. But to like scroll through the VOD, remember we had Solana at the start of the broadcast. We had the Protoss player Solana. We had, oh sorry, actually, you know what? I can just go through this. Bam. So match 1 was Solana versus FataMorgana, where FataMorgana did take the game. Then we had FataMorgana versus Coco, if you recall, which FataMorgana also won, winning 2 games in a row. That followed by FataMorgana versus Tempest. Tempest went on a tear. Tempest took down both the initial Terran player that went on a win streak, alongside Afo as well. It was a Cyrillic name. I couldn't quite write it all down. But Tempest also took down Afo. That led into Tempest versus Reina, which did go the way of Reina. Reina, another strong Terran player, looking very powerful in that game, did bring it home. Then that led into Reina versus SANTE. SANTE was able to claim that win over Reina as the new Zerg player. And if you remember, SANTE was the player that was featured eventually as SANTE took down Reina. I believe that was on, not KairoS Junction. That was on Acropolis. Led into SANTE versus KairoS, which also went the way of SANTE. Led into SANTE versus NotABarcode, which went the way of the Protoss player. That was on a Turtle Empire. That was the impressive long macro game, which led into NotABarcode versus LadyGaGa, and then LadyGaGa versus Ludwig, of course, as LadyGaGa did cannon rush twice in a row, and Ludwig did hard counter the attempted cannon rush. Oh boy. So yeah, there's plenty of players. So 11 players in total were featured here tonight. Best of luck with your predictions. Best of luck with your guessing. I know I have my ideas as to some of these players, for sure. And I feel like throughout the process of a lot of these games that we casted, I also kind of shared that a little bit with you as well. For most of them. But there are definitely some that are really hard to call. Like, I think some of the hardest ones to call are going to be Afo. I think Athel alongside Solana. Like I don't think there was too much unique play there to distinguish them, and Ludwig as well. Like Ludwig played pretty standard, as in Ludwig just went for a hard counter to the cannon rush. Like any Protoss could have technically gone for that. I mean, did have really nice control, so that does kind of separate them a little bit. There was some really solid control with their Warp Prism, which was very impressive, but like, you know, so that does limit things maybe a little bit. But there's, yeah, I think there's as I mentioned before, because there are so many Protoss possibilities when it comes to the player base, it's going to be a little bit more RNG, I feel, to really secure yourself. But, you know, regardless, best of luck to all those in the chat. And we're going to be back tomorrow in 24 hours. In less than 24 hours time, we're going to be back. Hopefully we're able to wrap up tomorrow in time. What I mean by that is that tomorrow we have 2 broadcasts. Actually, let me just quickly switch the scenes over and catch up on our schedule. So as you can see here, we just wrapped up with our Sunday morning broadcast of the Anonymous Cup. We do have Sparkling Tuna Cup. That's going to be at 8 p.m. AEST. That's going to be in like 15 hours. In 15 hours time, we're going to be live with Sparkling Tuna Cup. And then after Sparkling Tuna Cup, we have day number 2 of the Anonymous King of the Hill, the Anonymous Cup. But right after that, a couple of hours later, I think it's 3 hours later. Let me just double check. Here. Today's broadcast was 3.5 hours, by the way, for this event. But let me just double check here. Yes, 3 hours later, we have the Revival European qualifier. I think I'm going to commit to fully finishing and wrapping up this event. We have 10 more best of ones tomorrow, so I think we're going to fully commit to wrapping this up. And then when we finish the Anonymous Cup Day 2, then we'll switch into RSL, into the RSL European qualifier. I think it's going to overlap a little bit. Again, for tomorrow's events, RSL is scheduled 3 hours after the start of Anonymous Cup, and today's Anonymous Cup lasted 3.5 hours, so we might go over time and we might overlap a little bit, so we might miss the first round of the RSL qualifier, but we'll be there for the rest. We'll be there for, you know, round 2 onwards into qualifying matches. So it's going to be a back-to-back broadcast. Technically, it's going to be back-to-back-to-back. It's going to be Sparkling Tuna Cup, into Anonymous Cup, into RSL. Yeah, it's going to be an intense broadcast, actually. Jesus. I'll probably be drinking some coffee tomorrow. Cause because Sparkling Tuna Cup is 4 hours before Anonymous Cup, so it's just straight up just back-to-back-to-back broadcast tomorrow. Oh boy, I'll try to get as much sleep as possible, as much sleep as I can. I'll do my best. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Wikipedia has been updated. Oh, nice. That helps. You can just copy paste the names. Just copy paste. Beautiful. That helps. That does help a lot, actually. So for those of you that are maybe a little bit concerned with like spelling or with capitalization, hold on. For those of you that are concerned, bam, beautiful. There we go. Exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the Wikipedia page yourself. But you can see here, you can see Solana, you can see Coco, you can see Coco again, the Cyrillic name. Up here we have the Cyrillic, sorry, over here we have the Cyrillic AFO name as well. So you just copy paste. So you can just copy paste these initial IDs for who you think they are. SANTE, KairoS, Reina, NotABarcode. It's all here. It's all here on Wikipedia. And starting tomorrow, LudwigCursed is going to be the starting player. The starting player. And we have 10 more best of ones. 10 more. Whew, oh boy. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Again, it's a more unique tournament. Very, like, yeah, a lot of theories going around as to who is who and who is what. Definitely a lot of theories. A lot of fun, for sure. A lot of fun. Exclamation mark B. But with that, we're going to be wrapping up. So thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who is live at the moment? Who is live? Jimmy is live. Let's go. If Jimmy was laddering the entire time, then you can rule Jimmy out. True. I think he just went live. He could have been playing. Could have been. I don't think Jimmy was one of the players that was brought in, to be honest. I think, yeah, Gabe was streaming as well. I didn't expect Gabe to be part of that. Strange was streaming. Interesting. Interesting. But yeah, with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Do appreciate it. I'm gonna go and get some rest. I might force myself to stay up a little bit just so I can sleep as much as I can before the cast tomorrow, because it's gonna be a very intense broadcast. It's gonna be very intense. But otherwise, thanks for watching. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Again, tomorrow we have 3 events back to back to back. It's going to be Tuna Cup, into Anonymous Cup, into the RSL qualifier. So give us some strength, give us some support. Likewise, you can follow us on all the social medias. You can follow us on all the social medias, of course, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We upload on YouTube on a daily basis, and of course, Discord as well. And you can also support us via Patreon. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Until then, ciao, bye, ciao. See you next time. Hasta luego.